finally come to an end as I'm joined here by the absolutely beautiful, sexy, amazing, gorgeous, fine as heck, Jenna! Jenna, how are you on this Wednesday evening?
I am so excited to be casting with you, Bianca. I am so excited. I am a little bit sick right now, but I could not pass up the opportunity to get into a call with you and just hang out. And tonight's match is going to be so good. We do have honestly a really great match coming up. This is the first match of the quarterfinals. We are done with the semis, I believe. So now it's going to be the quarters. If 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 I'm correct, yeah, we're done with the wild card now. So now it's done with the wild card. Now we're on to quarterfinals, and then we'll move on to semis. Anyways,
We'll be on
playoff
semis.
picture, huge changes so far. Team Sesh knocked out fully. All right, the roster essentially imploded, it dissolved, so they are not a part of the playoffs anymore. Skyline GG has also been knocked out by TBD. We will get into that in just a moment, a visual look at that. Tonight's match is going to be Reno Skyline and TBD. We've also got Team Notorious, Generation ESS, and Left Pocket. From the bottom side, I believe that is the Commando, if I am 100% correct. Ranger. So the top is the Commando, bottom is the Ranger. We've got Temper, U.S. Army, Mist, Corvus, Orglis, Model 1 White, and Arcus, but we are not talking about Ranger tonight. We're talking about Commando. Let's look at that bracket, shall we?
Ooh. You guys notice we're on the left side, the bottom left of the quarterfinals. So not the far left, the middle left, bottom. That's where we're going to be tonight for this beautiful BO3. But Jenna, mention to us what had happened with the Skyline team going against TBD for those who aren't aware of the game that happened.
I mean, if you aren't aware, y'all need to go watch that game. It was absolutely insane. It was a complete and utter upset. Skyline GG, they walk into it, all right? They are the second seed, favored 100% to win, not only on paper, but also by the audience consensus. Like, everybody thinks that this team is going to win, right? It is set in stone. You've got TBD coming in swinging, all right? They have a new roster. This is their second match in the league with their new roster. They come in, they went nuclear, all right? Complete and utter upset. They won on their first match, which I believe was Chalet, if I'm correct. That was their pick. And then they went on to Consulate. That was Skyline's pick in one of Skyline's best maps. Completely tore them up on it. They won on Skyline. I mean, it was a hard-fought game. Don't get me wrong. I believe we went all 30 rounds on between both matches. So it was a barn burner from the start to the finish. But it was still a 2-0. TBD went crazy. So now you've got 7th seed going up against 3rd seed, and they've already beat 2nd seed.
So maybe Reno Skyline might be on or not Reno Skyline, TBD might make a second upset, sorry. Little underdog type of story. Imagine coming in 7th place, making your way all the way to semis and then making your way to finals. They've already kicked out 2nd place. So looks like Reno Skyline 3rd. Obviously on paper, they're not as good as the regular Skyline GG. We'll see if Reno Skyline are going to put up a little bit of a harder fight for TBD instead of it, being 2 maps. Maybe it happened to be 3 maps. You did say though that the game between Skyline GG and TBD was just it was a long haul for both games. So we'll see if Reno Skyline and TBD are going to have a long one as well. You can tell just by comparing stats that, well, of course, Reno Skyline's going to have that better win percentage, but I feel like, not everything is so completely discombobulated and very unleveled, what's the word, like dissimilar. It's not too bad. Attack win percentage for Reno Skyline 49, attack win for TBD is 34. Still a bit of a difference, but considering it's a 3rd place versus 7th place, yeah, you know what? You're going to see that plant percentage happens to be the same. maybe planting is not in these guys' thought process. Maybe it's just about that run and gun. Get in there, let's kill everybody as fast as we possibly can. We'll see how they play
Yeah,
tonight.
that's definitely interesting that Reno Skyline does not opt to plant as much. I'm interested to see, like, if we were to look at Reno Skyline's standings, they have had pretty high score wins, meaning, it's been a 7-3, 7-2, 7-1 situation. So the question is, did they start on defense and then they just never ended up rolling over to many attacks? Or was it a situation of, okay, we are not objective minded, we're more so going for a TDM? I would assume it's the latter because they have had multiple games where it has not been super high score counts, like 7-4s. We've got some 8-6s in there. So there is some variation within the scores that they have given us throughout the season. But I'm interested to see how that poses over a BO3 as well, right? Because they did win their first BO3, and now they're onto their second one, but they're going up against a team that is able to provide the stamina that we need to see throughout this BO3, right? TBD was able to run it 30 rounds against Skyline GG. And now going up against Reno, I mean, Reno's going to have to put up just as hard of a fight. So, player to watch. Gonna be nice guy. Jake. He's got some great stats going on. Decent survival rate. That's about a half survival rate so far. They did win forfeit against Notorious. I think Notorious, I think their roster also had issues as well. So Reno Skyline has actually gotten off scot-free so far in this playoffs bracket, if I am correct. They have not played a match yet. So this will actually be their first match being played in the playoffs bracket. And Bianca, I'm just so interested for you to see these maps. I want to see like your genuine facial reaction
She
when we
was
come up to these
saying that I was
maps.
gonna like it. She was saying I might like it, so I'm hoping, that we'll get some good maps, some ones that we rarely get to see, because I'm sick and tired of seeing Club. But anyways, that's a little bit later on. We'll take a look at who's gonna be playing on Reno Skyline. I'm actually very familiar with this team actually. Now that I'm looking at it, Porkins, we got Calico, like the little kitty. Like I wonder if he likes cats. Slasher. I don't feel like I recognize the name Slasher. I recognize the name Nice Guy Jake though, and HK. Is he from Hong Kong? Hong Kong. Is he from there? I don't know. But anyways, HK. Sounds like a
I
street name, you know?
I feel
But
like I've played with HK before, if I'm correct. I feel like I've had a run in with HK. It might be a different HK. I don't know. It might be a different HK. But anyways, taking a look at TBD's roster, Yarlos. Yarlos is on the top for TBD. Yarlos is one of their new players. That's why we have a 6-5 KD for Yarlos. We don't have too many stats going on the board for Yarlos. And I think these playdays are not updated quite yet. So I might have actually been wrong on the first roster or on the first game for the playoffs bracket
Jenna, are
for
you good?
Skyline. Yeah, I know. There's an ambulance in the background. I can't help it. Poor
Take a
people.
look at
Oh
the
my
roster
gosh.
though.
TBD. TBD the roster. We got
Looks like
Nyx.
Nyx is the only one with
Yeah,
with
with the with
updated
the
stats.
long standing stats. Nyx, End Up, Slinky, Yalos, and Heidka. Um,
Vodka.
for reference, I think we'll be calling them by Nyx, Yarlos, Slinky, Idka, and DJ. So I think DJ
I like the
is
name
N-Dubs.
N-Dubs. N-Dubs is not. Oh, I like that name N-Dubs. I don't know. I like that.
N-Dubs. N-Dubs.
N-Dubs. Like it just rolls off the tongue nicely. N-Dubs.
I like DJ too, though.
N-Dubs.
I do like DJ
DJ.
too, though. Yeah, so it looks like we
DJ
haven't been taking
Chronics.
stats during the playoffs. Unfortunately, we haven't been like keeping track of stats, which is
Oh, I
very
think Kyla
unfortunate.
said that it was going to be updated next week or something.
Something
Or
like
something like
that.
that.
Something
I'm
like
not
that.
really sure. So, Hey, I just got here,
Are
but
you ready? Are you ready? Are
okay,
you ready
wait,
for the map
no, Bank
bans?
is bad. I was Loki. Okay, tell me Border's one of them. I'm gonna be excited if we get a Border because I love Border. Clubhouse gone, Cafe gone, Chalet gone. That's the big three. That's the big three gone. I like to see that. Bank gone. Lair is picked. Okay, Border is picked. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know the colors for Lair, but I love playing Lair in ranked. I feel like I'm undefeated on Lair. I literally love that map so much. Nighthaven to be the last map. Get out of here, Consulate. Thank God. Get out of here, Scott. I love this map picks. Jenna reads me like a book. Jenna just opened me up and just flipped through my pages. And she read me. She read my entire biography. I love the lair. I love the border. Nighthaven is becoming one of those just like standard like maps that people typically pick. I don't care though. It's better than Chalet. It's better than Club. It's better. Okay, I won't say it's better, but like in terms of like, being able to enjoy casting it multiple times. Like I feel like we get so much Chalet, we get so much Cafe, we get so much Club. I like to see the big three out of here. Honestly, I would probably put Consulate above Cafe. The amount of times that people pick Consulate is absolutely absurd. I don't know who likes Consulate. I don't. I've never liked Consulate. Not even pre and post rework. Horrible. Horrible. I'm glad that it's gone. I'm glad Cafe is gone. I'm glad Chalet is gone. I'm sad Bank is gone. That's like a home court advantage for me. I work at a bank and I love seeing Bank, but it doesn't matter. Okay? We got Lair. We got Border and Nighthaven. Nighthaven is the last one too. Like Nighthaven, is it doesn't have to be played unless we go all three maps. And I'm glad that if it is gonna be a map played, it's gonna be the third one because I feel like Nighthaven gets picked a lot. So I'm glad that we still get to see a little bit of it, but there's only a possibility. You know what I mean? What about you, Jenna? What do you think about this? Because everybody in the call was like, what are these mappings? What the freak are these mappings?
These map picks are definitely interesting. I like Lair and I like Nighthaven. Border, I'm not a big fan of casting Border. I'm also not a big fan of playing Border. I think
I love Border.
Border is very
Do not attempt to board the
one-dimensional.
helicopter.
Helicopter.
Do not
Yes,
attempt to board the helicopter.
do not attempt to board the helicopter. I know. I think as much as I want to love Border, I don't love the meta on Border. I do not love the meta
What is
on
the meta
Border.
on Border? Loki, what is the meta on? I don't know. So I'm actually asking, what is the meta on Border? Is it like, what is it? I feel like the meta in Rainbow right now is like straight shields, and I'm not gonna lie, like shotguns. Shotguns and shields is what it, but not just any shotgun, man. I'm seeing people run around with all these Legion shotguns, Kaid shotgun as well. Shields, Kaid shotgun, man. Like, holy crap, I'm getting bombarded. Tell me, what's the meta?
So the meta is pretty standard, I would say. It's, for example, on an armory defense, right? You've got about two options. Well, three technically. The first one is you take CCTV, you play for armory. All right, that's pretty standard, right? The defense is sat there to try to prolong the CCTV hold as much as they possibly can. And once they have to back out, you would assume that enough time is wasted that you are not able to play into armory unless you play it super hasty and you're kind of creating chaos. Second option is to play for that office side, play like vent side on the balcony. And that usually tends to be like a shield turtle plant where you kind of take office side, you take fountain side. And then the third option, which kind of is my favorite option, is just full out chaos, right? So you get an Amaru, you play in through Sandwich, you do some crazy whack stuff, and you create so much chaos that not even you fully know what's going on, but you try to control it as much as possible. Right. You play the game. You get in, and you get killing, and you get the bomb down.
Somebody playing from below, like, got a buck from below. This is giving Consulate. It's reminding me of Consulate. You know, somebody's Buck, somebody's Amaru, somebody's Gridlock, somebody's Ying. A little flex operator, let's put a Grim in there. Oh my goodness. Hopefully, you know, we don't see any chaos like that. If we do, it'll be a one-round kind of thing. But take a look going into lair. We're gonna have off the hop. Woo! We got some face cams! There's only 2 people, but it's whatever.
We need to get more face cams.
Right,
Oh,
make it
Reno
mandatory.
Skyline. Come
Make it
on,
mandatory.
guys.
Reno Skyline
Mandatory.
is third place, by the way. Like, come on, bruh. Anyways, they have a Kaid and a Monty off the board. Pretty typical, I would say. Like, you know, I get that. Especially, like I said, man, the fact that Kaid is like one of the only, I think the only defensive operator with an ACOG now. Everybody's picking Kaid. Shotgun. It's the most annoying thing on planet Earth. Anyways, looks like we're going back to the normal bans of the 2-ban and then oh no. Yeah. This is normal for what's it called? For AEL. Anyways, I digress. Kaid and Bandit gone, 2 wall denials gone. Now you just gotta mute if you really need to. We're gonna have Mav off the board along with Amonte. I like these bans. I like them. I know Mira ban, but also know Mira pick.
I like the Mav off the board as the preferred operator. I mean, of course, you still have Ace on the board, you still have Ivana, and you still have Thermite, right? But Mav being off the board, that does kind of shut down your options for
10 seconds insertion.
I guess we're making certain holes. Okay, and for making, you know, certain levels of mobility, right? And so you're really going to have to deal with that wall denial, right? Of course, you're going to have to deal with the mute. You're going to have to deal with the tuber up on the board. So there's really no way that you can get around it and circumvent by creating the holes in the wall that Maverick can do. I think honestly that's pretty smart from TBD. But you also have Kaid off the board. You got Bandit off the board. So now the only operators that are up are Mute and Tuber out. That also forces TBD into kind of an awkward position. But it looks like they're playing for it. Got a Clash. Oh, got a Blackbeard up on the board. Some shield operators going off. Nick's gonna take a little bit of damage. Some shield on shield crime. Indeed.
I hate the BB, man. It's cheesy, it's corny, but Reno Skyline is doing it, I guess. So, that's what's happening. Yeah. Nyx is going to take a little bit of damage from Mr. BB himself. And Slinky, he's a little bit off the side. It seems like he's kind of trying to hold some stuff out for as long as he possibly can. Seems like the Clash 2 is also going to kind of slow down the entry from the boys on Reno. But fortunately, Yarlos, the first one to get taken down, he's also going to be the 2 out. Could be a little bit of an issue for TBD if Reno Skyline are going to start to kind of commit to this wall. So we'll see. Right now, there's not really much to get rid of the leads off the wall. It doesn't matter. I'm sure they can find a way. Regardless, a minute and a half remaining.
Tuber off the board. It's a little bit unfortunate. Going out. You've also got Nyx setting up the shield, trying to hide behind it with that secondary. Now you don't have Clash Shield in tow, unfortunately, but you do have the Blackbeard that is setting on that Clash Shield. So, was a good option from Nyx. Gonna get a kill off the board. That's Slinky, too, to follow up as well. It's 3v4. Reno Skyline, they're still looking. Trying to look for openings for a way into the site. Clash is going in. Got Porkins trying to run through this hallway side, this 90.
My goodness, now we're 45 seconds, and Reno Skyline did have that advantage for a little bit of time. They're going to be at a man disadvantage now, but the bomb is going to be getting to be planted, and it seems like, unfortunately, last second, oh my goodness, that was like not even a second left remaining on the diffuser. Fortunately, you get taken down by Unstoppable. It's going to be a 1v3 and favor the boys on TBD. Porkins, the last one alive, might try to get somebody down from below, but it seems like he's been hit from all angles. With 15 seconds, it's not looking too good. Not only that, but oh my god, this Clash Shield is working OT to try and help out TBD with just about 5 seconds remaining on the board. It seems like the advantage that Reno Skyline had was all for nothing. It was in vain. That little one-man advantage wasn't going to be enough. TBD are going to secure themselves the first round. And honestly, they did it quite nicely. That C4 just saved them the round, and it wasn't even half a second remaining. I guarantee it.
It did actually save them. I do have to say that because you had the attack, right? They pulled up with the first pick. All right, so they were looking strong, right? Reno Skyline was pushing forward, but then you got to that hallway right outside of office, right? And I think that's where things really started to fall apart for Reno Skyline.
Need to locate
Flash
and defuse
puts down the
bombs.
shield, says, okay, making a stand here. All right, that's kind of where Reno Skyline has since got clothespin because they're all sitting there. They're kind of at a choke point, and TBD is wasting time for Reno, right? Reno, yes, is starting to dump utility in the master, right? Master office. They're trying to push their way in, but ended up being, TBD with that C4 able to stifle that execute, and you're able to retake, get the round win that you need. What a great round from TBD to be able to play in that chaos. Not only that, but create a very necessary choke point with that class shield.
You could say they're determined to win. Because you get their name to be determined. Like, they're determined.
Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Not like that, girl. You're always picking up what I'm putting down. Let me tell you.
I'm picking up what you're putting down right now.
She's always finishing my sentences, but in like the best way, like not in an annoying way where it's like, girl, shut the hell up. It's like, yes, Jenna, this is you're saying exactly what I'm trying to convey, but you're using the right words. Jenna knows what I'm talking about. They are determined. To be determined is to be this team. And that first round showed that determination, even being down that one player. We'll see if Reno Skyline are going to get the first pick again, but TBD are going to find themselves with that man advantage first off this round. But as for, what's playing out right now, it seems like Reno Skyline are just getting information and slowly but surely making their way in through the building. Seems like we got a Ram and no Mira. I feel like Lair's not really a map for Mira anyways. So I'm not really surprised that we don't see it, but just under 2 minutes remaining in the round, and Reno Skyline have slowly but surely started to make their way through. Still, obviously, scouting out the area before they officially try and execute a sort of plan.
Not only that, but you do have to get that vert control if you're Reno and you're not trying to go in for that horizontal take, right? Especially you got that Ram on the board, you're trying your absolute best. Okay, let's get that vert control. Let's get some sort of chaos moving on the objective, force the defenders into unfavorable positions and go absolutely crazy on the execute. That's what Reno Skyline is absolutely amazing at. And they're going to open up the kill feed. They've got a kill from Porkins, getting a nice headshot onto Slinky with that beautiful 417 from above. And we've now kicked off the kills with that vert. Just like I was saying, Reno Skyline, they're doing the work. They're getting in. Now they just got to get the site.
Everybody has slowly but surely made their way back. That main floor hold, I know that Nyx was up there, but he's made his way back down to the basement. And so is anybody else that was roaming off site. We obviously can see that TBD is down a player, but if anything is like last round, that doesn't mean much just yet. Reno Skyline still have to continue to make their way through. However, they're pretty darn close to slowly making their way through. We're gonna have Mr. Jake and Slasher both by the basement floor, just about ready to make their way into sight. It's not gonna stop Yarlos though. 20 seconds of the execute has to start and has to start now. Oh my goodness. Plan is going to begin to go, and it's going to be a 4v4, making a 3v3. Kills are coming out from either side, but it's a close plan situation now. 40 seconds remaining. Jarlo's going to get taken down. That's a 3-piece for Porkins, looking for his ace. Could be somebody above to see where that Mr. DK, Heideke. Oh, it's going to be a bump. No, they're not. But Porkins is looking for his ace. A 2v1. Heideke, Pew Pew. I don't even know how to say his name. It's going to be up on that top floor, but with 20 seconds not even to defuse that bomb, he's going to not just have 7 seconds to spare, he's going to need to get these 2 kills with 7 seconds to spare. It doesn't look like it's going to be too bright for TBD. It's going to be unfortunate. A C4 wasn't going to delay that plant off this time, and it seems like Reno Skyline has secured themselves the second round. Much more secure than last round. Finally got that diffuser down. So, no C4 to stop it, but, we were looking, Jenna, at Reno Skyline's plant percentage. We saw it was at like 23%. You know what? They're going for a lot of plants. The previous round and this round. The previous round it was stopped, obviously. But this round they got it successfully off. I wonder if that's a kind of a change in strategy for them. Maybe they're deciding that they want to try and go for plants, which is crazy too, having an echo on the board. They were still able to get that off.
I think the Echo was preoccupied with facing that Blackbeard during the plan. I don't know if you saw that whole thing. Got
But
another
he was on his
ambulance in my
camo.
background.
Girl, he like used his echo right before they even planted, before they got into the door. And I think that is what enabled them to plant, was because the fact that he used his yokai. And so they're like, okay, now he can't use his yokai. I guess maybe there's a cooldown or whatever. They're like, yo, let's see if we can get in there like somewhere, now that he's basically used a yokai, whatever, the blast to stop us or, kind of slow us down from getting into sight.
Yeah, I think it was certainly unfortunate timing with the Echo there, for sure. But I think it was also part of Reno Skyline's plan, okay? You're going to preoccupy the Echo. Even if you don't win that engagement with the Echo, if you're Blackbeard, okay, I've still wasted his time, and I was able to get my teammates in. And sorry, I'm a little flummy today. Yeah, I'm a little flummy today. Yeah. Still able to thrust my teammates onto the objective, and I was still able to get the plant.
And defuse bombs.
And then from there, all I gotta do is play that post plant out. I mean, I think what TBD could have done differently was, if you are a player from TBD, you want to go for that late retake a little bit sooner than later. The player from TBD that went for that late retake, I could have correct, a little bit too late, right? It was kind of like a last-ditch effort moment, and it did work, for sure. You just gotta be a little bit better with that timing, because now you're in a position where you have to retake, and you have to be on your toes. You're gonna have to be moving around a lot. So the pacing has to be even better than what it would be if there wasn't a plan down. But anyways, let's move into this next round. We've got Pulse up on the board this time around, which isn't too crazy of a decision for a map like Lair, especially on, I believe it is the first floor, if I'm correct. You've got a Pulse that sits below, kind of seeds out players of Reno Skyline. You've also got Sentry, Legion, got that Meatball Man on the board, and the Zombie too. But more importantly, this looks like a rush strategy coming from Reno Skyline. You've got the Knock, you've got the Grim, the Sense, the Blitz up on the board. I think from Reno, once they get that wall open, they're going in.
They're going in tonight. Let's see. I'm not too surprised about the Pulse. I feel like because of the fact that Reno have tried to plant both rounds, they've decided maybe it's better to be safe, unless maybe, Pulse is already a part of the strategy. Regardless, I hear something open up, and Porkins is slowly but surely actually creeping around over in the site, or not even the site, but over on that third floor. First picks are going to come out. It's going to be already 5 picks off the board. It's going to be in favor of TBD, but Porkins, to find himself the second kill onto Nyx, he was creeping around, and so it did him service. It did him what it needed to do. This is now going to be a 2v2 at a minute and a half. That is 6 kills off the board in literally a minute and a half. That is ridiculous, and Slinky might be the next one. Porkins, a 4-piece. That was a quick round. Unfortunately, it just seemed like they had no clue that, Porkins was just hiding right there, in a beautiful round. Nonetheless, from Reno, it was a little bit chaotic once everybody was walking in, but Reno Skyline picking it up. Porkins being a little cheeky nook as he should, and so they secured themselves their second round win on that third round. Let's see what these bands are going to be like. Jenna, any thoughts on the last round?
Well, I think in a literal and a metaphorical sense, Knock was that sort of dark horse that Reno Skyline needed to get in and win out the round. right? I mean, Knock was essentially undetectable the entire time, was able to get that 4-piece, run on in. Crazy impact frags. I think it just went down to, okay, Reno Skyline, you are creating chaos, and TBD wasn't able to win those ones. Because, I mean, utility,
Attackers need to
completely null
locate
and
and
void
defuse
at
as
this
many
point,
bombs
right?
as
No
they can.
amount of utility, unless you had, like, a Valkyrie to be able to determine where Reno Skyline was coming from, if the Pulse was able to maybe determine, if you had, like, a crazy Legion spot. None of that was going to stop Reno Skyline in their tracks from making that push, from making that rush. So it just comes down to who is well positioned, who is going to
Bomb located by
seed out the
attackers.
positions of the opposition. And it ended up being Nuck. Nuck was able to get in and remain
seconds
undetected. And by the end, able to get that 4K. I mean, hats off.
5 seconds left
to
before
Forkit.
Seems like TBD are going to be running the same operator lineup minus the Clash. They've opted to have a Ella or an un-Ella instead. And BBR4, the Slasher, is going to be going the Blitz instead of the BB. Let's take a look. Porkins, 8-1. Everybody else is slowly but surely catching up with him. Seems like Porkins is really a man of match so far. He's doing a great job. As for TBD, the kills are a little bit more equalized out, but it doesn't matter, man. You know what? It's a team game. But if one team, if one player is going to be, performing, above and beyond, as long as y'all are winning, it's all good. A lot of people that are giving a bunch of call-outs, and kills aren't necessarily everything. Skyline actually played that last round amazing. Let's see if TBD are going to win out this round. They did win out the first round of the map. That kind of sets the tone, but doesn't seem like that was really deterring Reno Skyline at all. Still pushing in with power and with elegance and poise. Doing everything the right way. So we'll see now as it's about 2 minutes remaining in the round how Reno Skyline are going to begin to nobody's actually in the building just yet, except for Slasher, who's on that second floor. But other than that, everybody's still slowly but surely starting to make their way into the building.
Mind you, TBD doesn't have Flash up on the board either at this point, right? It was swapped out for Ella. I think there might be reason why Flash cannot be played in game, if I'm correct. Flash might be quarantined at the moment.
Oh, really?
Maybe? Question mark?
But they played her the first round.
But I think we saw in chat she wasn't supposed to be up on the board. Anyways, let's get to the round. Okay.
Whoops.
No more assumptions. For lack of better words, make an ass out of you and me, Calico. Able to get 2 picks, but getting disposed of right afterwards by Nyx, the man on the Ella. Got a 3 swing. Blitz playing in. But you've got player with a long angle. That's going to be Tubro watching that Blitz run in. And Nightmare. Pick up another kill, but the siege timing hits again. Nice guy Jake to pick off Yarlos. That leaves the Blitz and the Ace with the Blitz diffuser in hand. No longer Pika on the board as well. But a knife kill to take away the Blitz from play. Crazy coming out from TBD. You've got Nice Guy Jake, the last remaining player, up on the board for Reno Skyline. That is your ace. Come in, beginning to plant that diffuser. Ella's gonna have to play in very quickly. She wants to prevent the diffuser from going down, and this, in fact, won't be a bait and switch. Nice Guy Jake does stick that diffuser, so now it's up to Ella to play in and keep that counter defuse. But it won't happen, Nice Guy Jake, with the AK-12 swinging in, able to get the longer angle needed and necessary with that ACOG to win out the round for Reno Skyline. But it would have been crazy if Nyx was able to clutch that with the knife kill through the wall for the Blitz.
That was nasty, man. That had me clenching my shit, man. What? I'm not gonna lie. I wanted TBD to win that so bad. More just to keep the scores closer, but man, that knife kill had me. Oh my goodness. A great job to Nice Guy Jake. He's not so much of a nice guy in the eyes of TBD as he's shut them down. He's shut that ish down. And unfortunately, TBD have lost 3 rounds in a row. They're not going to attempt to go upstairs. I noticed with TBD, they whether or not they win or lose, they always flush. We've seen this rotation, top floor, basement. If it's a rinse and repeat, then even if they do lose down here, they're probably going to go that middle floor that they did before. So we'll see how that's going to play out. Anyways, I did want TBD to win that, I'm not going to lie. And man, it was close, but wasn't close enough. Reno Skyline playing like they are in third place. They are, and TBD are gonna have to play a little game of catch up. You know, these last 2 rounds are gonna be the last 2 rounds, of course, split. So we'll see. I believe this is also is this Reno's map pick? I would assume so if TBD.
This is Reno's map pick, yes. I was actually looking at that beforehand. This is Reno's map pick, and then Border is actually going to be TBD's map pick. So if Reno does win this, we will be seeing TBD on their map pick. So it very well might be a different display of, we'll say, different skill sets, right?
I'm reloading!
But I like it, man. You know what I always say about teams that are picking maps? Y'all better know how to play the defense and the offense. And I like the fact that Reno are doing such a great job on offense. And boom! I feel like almost every single round, TBD has been first pick. I think this might be the first round that TBD has gotten the first pick. It's going to be a C4, nonetheless. And Reno Skyline are going to be now down 1 player. It's going to be unfortunate. Not only is it just any player, it's their top frag. It's going to be Mr. Porkins. He's been doing a great job so far. We'll see how they manage without him, as it's about 1:45 remaining. And TBD are still going to be up that man, but a little bit of a confrontation might even up the score.
I think so, honestly. TBD is kind of forcing Reno Skyline into an unfavorable position, especially not only having Porkins down as a player, but having your Lion down as well. That's really helpful for the roam clear and it's helpful for spotting out the players of TBD, where Reno Skyline is really great at playing in fast and hasty. And you can see TBD, this time around, they are prepared for that level of aggression. TBD knows how to traverse that chaos. So, if you're a team that's playing up against TBD, be wary. Okay? They will figure you out. And they will have a plan to handle you. Eventually. At the very least. HK, the last remaining player up on the board, just quickly spend stuff.
That red spot! Can we talk about that?
That rat spot was insane. That was like a bait and switch, right?
Me. That would have had me smash my controller on the ground. They baited the blitz to rush the Malusi. Little do they know there is literally a pause sitting behind that little divider. Oh my god, that would have had me tight. That would have had me tight. That was great. Jenna, that was great. And then on top of that, you had that grenade chunk. Yo, you just got smug out, brother. You just got smug out, brother. Oh my god, the instant headshot just had me locked in, and I guess I was wrong. I'm not gonna be going that tertiary slang, whatever. You're gonna be going back to the top 4. Jenna, what? And that last round has me speechless.
What I really loved about that last round is that TBD had a very conceited plan to set the pace immediately, right? They knew that the players of Reno Skyline would be playing fast, and they knew that if we were able to get that kill with the pulse, or get a kill nonetheless, to start off the lead, we will be able to stop Reno Skyline in their tracks. They're going to have to slow down. Because before round 5, Reno Skyline had been consistently getting the first pick on these rounds, right? That first round that the defense won was a clutch, because they had to come back from Reno Skyline getting that first pick and gaining that momentum with that class shield. So this last round was certainly a change of pace, where we saw TBD, okay, they got the first pick, now Reno Skyline has to slow down, but they did not slow down. And that was the issue with Reno Skyline. They are go, go, go. So either way, they're going to be hasty, they're going to be explosive, and you can take advantage of that if you're TBD, right? Play little mind games, have a little rat corner. and you're gonna win the round.
Tracker on the
So
prowl.
honestly, hats off TBD. They have found their groove at this point in their defense. Gotta say, wish it was a little bit sooner, but I mean, they're moving and they're moving.
Hey, if they can leave this split at 3-3, that'd be great. Especially this, considering this is Reno Skyline's map. I think this is great. For both teams, honestly.
I agree.
I think it's a great situation. I wouldn't even really be too upset if TBD ended up losing this round, because I feel like, you know, actually no, you know, maybe it wouldn't be the best. 3-3 would be nice, but anyways, I digress. Nice guy, Jake. Already taken out early. That's also your hard reach, your one and only hard reach. Not only that, but now Slasher is gone. At the very least, Calico's gonna get the refrag onto that. He's gonna get immediately punished for killing this beautiful Slasher with the shield. And so a minute 15 remaining, it's gonna be another kill coming out in favor, actually, of either side. Seems like it's a 1v3. The boys on Reno Skyline down 2 men. Is Calico gonna be able to lock it in? He needs the ace. He's looking for it. To win out this round is send his team to switch to the second half with 4 rounds in their pocket. A 1v2 will quickly turn to a 1v1, and this might just be the ace. Calico coming in hot, stealthy like a cat, moving in the shadows, but unstoppable. Is gonna be unstoppable this round. He's hiding behind that mirror. Unfortunately, Calico is not gonna be as stealthy as Mr. Unstoppable. The mirror comes in clutch. Mira gets banned all the time, but I think this might be the first time that we see Mira the first time we see Mira get used since this entire map. So now it's halftime. It's swaps, and I'm loving it. An amazing round from TBD to really show off their strength before they swap sides.
Poor Calico. I mean,
You almost did it, man. The ace.
read like a book towards the end. Read like a book. So unfortunate. What I really loved from TBD in that last round is the fact that they understood that Reno Skyline, they double up, but otherwise, they play very separate from one another. So if you can play tight and use the map geography to your advantage with those really short hallways, those small rooms, you can double up on defense. If you can play tight with one another, you get that win. And that is what TBD started doing, and they started winning rounds. I mean, great example, going back to that rat corner, right? You had 2 people double up with one another. One person was sitting in a corner, the other one was baiting. Exactly. And you're getting those kills. You're getting those wins that you need. TBD understands that. What I'm really interested to know, though, is how they're going to function on their attacks now. Knowing what they know, knowing how Reno Skyline plays as a team, the way that they take spaces and the way that they hold spaces, how TBD is going to sort of adjust as they get on their attack. Are they going to play tight again and double up with one another? Are they going to try to find that opening, get in their groove, and still maintain sort of distance from one another while exploiting Reno Skyline's defense? That's something that is a TBD situation, but there isn't a blitz up on the board. So that very well might signal the latter. TBD might be playing a little bit distance, but it looks like we're seeing some doubling up.
We are going to have that BB on the board, so despite the blitz and the Monty being gone, we still have kind of like a shield. You can also, you know, use fuse, but not really sure if anybody is using a fuse these days, unless you're playing on border and you're pushing into the bathroom site. Anyways, I digress. We'll see, this is going to be the first round for both of these teams on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Reno Skyline is going to be their first defensive round, and TBD is going to be their first offensive round. So far, it seems like everybody's scouting the area. Only one person has actually made his way into the building. It's going to be Mr. Haidacuptu. I don't even know how to say this man's name. Can I call him HK? He's Hong Kong, right? I think that's HK. I'm going to call him HK, if I remember. Anyways, seems like he's the only one that's made his way in through the building. Everybody else is still scoping out the area. Still have that hard reach. But there is going to be a Walden out. It's going to be the Kaid, so it'll kind of slow him down. And we're approaching about a minute and a half now in the round. We'll see how this execute continues on both of these sides.
Loading new mag.
I love the. Is it Damara? Is that the player? Is that the player's name?
Tomorrow?
Damara.
Attacker spawn user has been dropped.
Anyways, I love that player. Kills going off on the board. Got HK. Open up the kill feed.
Attackers have
Quickly
recovered their
getting
diffuser.
dealt with though. A few more kills going up on the board. But seems to leave Reno Skyline in the driver's seat at this point. Team on the defense with the smoke still up on the board. Slash is going to take another kill off on the board. Unfortunate siege timing, but you cannot turn your back to that door, TBD. Slinky, last remaining player up on that board, is going to have to be facing down the barrel of a shotgun from Jake. That's going to be a round win for Reno Skyline. A pretty decisive one at that, a 3v0 by the end. TBD, where did it all go wrong? I think it went wrong with that kill box, that 90 hallway that we've been seeing. That's just been so destructive for each of these teams on their first attack, right? It's a lot of, okay, you have to be aware of that doorway, you have to be aware of the kill holes, but you also have to run into it. Right? Because that is one of your only entrances, unless, you know, you take the opportunity, you're able to get some hard breach going on. That's really the only other way you could circumvent, you know, forcing your way out of that 90 all. It's just a whole mess. Point is, it's just a whole mess. It ends up being a kill box. Reno Skyline, they were able to traverse that very well and control it. That is what we want to know here. They're able to control it. TBD weren't able to find their footing in that first round. But there is still room for adaptation and improvement from TBD. That was only their first attack round. It's Tachanka. Tachanka's up on the board, Bianca.
Tachanka. Tachanka. I don't know how they be saying. I think I gotta say Tachanka.
I don't know.
Cha-cha-cha. I just realized, yeah, no, there's already an HK. It's like a Heideka. I don't even know, man. I don't even know.
I don't even know, man.
Something. They give it Heideka Pew Pew. I don't even know how to say that. It merely sounds like a different language, and I'm gonna. Regardless, reminder, this is Reno Skyline's map. Their defensive rounds, you would assume, you know, would be better than their offense. And on top of that, it is their map pick. So, you know, picking a map, you are, you know, you're gambling the fact that you're better at playing this map than the other team. So, well, I don't doubt
Bianca, I do have to interrupt. I do have to interrupt by saying TBD is a team that is great at adaptation. You were not there, but they were amazing at adaptation when it came to that Consulate and Chalet game against Skyline GG. So
but
it took them a
Consulate
little bit.
And Chalet, it's sounding like very common maps. I don't doubt that they're not adapted, but I would say on a map like Lair, where it's not common to be played, I feel like if Reno Skyline are genuinely good at this map, I feel like the adaptation process, the curve is a little bit steeper than adapting to a setup on a map like Chalet or on a map like Consulate. But I haven't seen those games.
I don't know. I mean, Nyx has a big brain. We gotta put that out there. Nyx has a giant.
Hey, he's 11-5. He's rocking double digits. The only one in the lobby.
That's what I'm saying.
And big brain plays. Are we about to get a little cheeky ghost plant? Bomb is planted. La bomba is planted. It's a post-plant situation. How did he do it? Oh my goodness gracious. In a 4v4, make it a 3v4. Reno Skyline are down a man, but it's not going to be for long. Still a 3v3, but we're still in the post-plant. And in terms of HP, TBD is lower, but we'll see how long that's going to last. Unfortunately, for Reno Skyline, they're going to be also down a player. So even if TBD is down that HP, it's going to be down a player and make it to. It's going to be up to Slasher in a 1v3. He's 2-6 right now, but against a Black Grid to his front, and you got an AK-12 up your ass. I'm sorry. You're not winning that out. Yes, you either deal with the front.
Certainly are
or you deal
not.
with the back.
No.
But you get hit somewhere. And so that's what happened.
You're getting cooked. Yeah, no, you're
Fried,
getting cooked.
even.
That smoke canister is very unfortunate placement. I mean, it definitely hit the Blackbeard, but Blackbeard was able to kind of slink away
Just
from
about, yeah, he just about made it out with his life.
Yeah.
By the skin of his teeth.
Defenders
Yes.
protect
Late
the bombs from
retake
being
coming out
defused
from
by
Reno
attackers.
Skyline with that Echo in tow, but it just wasn't enough. You gotta be quicker with that retake. We see from both teams that their pacing with the retake is just a little bit too late. It's always post-planned, right? And it's understandable because if the flank watch is strong, it's hard to find your opening. But you do have to find that opening, whether you place somebody on that roam to begin with, you kind of have them lurking, or you find the opening eventually throughout all of the chaos that's being created. You just have to be more communicative and you have to be on point with your timing. That just is what it is. Now we've got a Valkyrie up on the board. It's going to give Reno Skyline a little bit of an idea of TBD's whereabouts before TBD will actually set up that execute. So perhaps that might be the necessary implement that Reno Skyline needs to say, okay, this is the timing, this is the right spot.
As designed,
They
Kiva
are going
activated.
back to the basement. We are seeing that.
They're running it back for the tool time. They said double or
Running
nothing.
it back, running it back, running it back.
Run it back, Turbo. Run it back, Turbo. Just like the producer tag. Run it back, Turbo. So that's what they're doing. We'll see if this round is going to be a little bit better. Like we said, you know, last round, Nyx made it out by the skin of his teeth. If it was just a little bit different, you know, same thing with that C4 the first round. If that C4 didn't hit Reno Skyline, you know, if it hit just a half a second later, bomb would have already been planted. So, anything can happen in this game. It's a 4-4 right now. You know, thing is evened out. And so already, hide a pew pew. It's gonna get taken out first. TBD is gonna be down that man already. And Nyx is at 50 HP. It's not looking too good. As for Reno Skyline, they've got the man. And they've also got the HP. C4 is gonna come out. It isn't gonna do too much. And Unstoppable is gonna kill out Slash. Unfortunately, equalizing out the score. But there's a little bit of pressure coming in from still TBD. Unstoppable! Oh my god, the knight in shining armor! Let Nyx face check and he'll just gun you down with the AK-12. Let it do a combo. So a 3v4, Reno Skyline. Has a advantage for about 15 seconds. And then TBD said, Now we're coming in and we're coming in hot. See how this round continues. That'll we have just over a minute remaining in TBD. We're also up a man.
Coming in with
Activating
the
override.
Goyo when the Ram is on the board. It's an unfortunate pick. Because you know those Goyos are going to be dealt with. Even though it's going to waste a little bit of time for TBD at the very least. Those Goyos, they're not going to be up on the board anymore. You also got HK, who is, in fact, playing with timing. You know that HK was lurking, but it was, in fact, dealt with on that flank. TBD knew exactly where that player was and dispatched of HK with a swiftness. We got Porkins, who's up next to the plate, trying to get that late retake, but it's not gonna happen. Yarlos on the grind. Take away that roaming player. Nice Guy Jake's the last remaining player up on the board. We've got Unstoppable on the other side, just planting up that bomb, trying to go from behind, but it's not gonna happen. Or Nice Guy Jake Unstoppable to get the kill with the AK-12 swinging around the side. What a fine round for TBD. I mean, they were, in fact, unstoppable.
But I'm loving this but oh my god. But oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This
Hey, yo,
is
can
great.
we get our face cams in? Can we get our face cams in?
Yeah,
for a
get
second?
our face cams in. Let me show you
Can we get our
what it
face?
looks like.
I will. We'll show you what we're talking about. We'll show you what we're talking about.
I go like this. Boy. I go but. All right, well. But. That is the AK-12 coming
That
in
is the
unstoppable.
AK-12 swinging.
That's where all this energy
Defenders,
is being put
protect your
out.
bombs
It's
from being defused
locked
by
in the
attackers.
AK-12 and being absolutely shot all the way onto the boys on Reno skyline. They're just being filled with these bullets. They cannot be stopped. To be determined. This team is determined. This is what it is. This is what it's like to be determined. Oh my God! Make that make that their team quote. This is what it's like to be determined. Dude, come on. That's a crazy slogan.
10 seconds to go.
That's a crazy slogan. Can we get on that? I gotta talk to somebody. I gotta become like an ambassador for TBD. Anyway, TBD, this might be their final round before match point. Reno Skyline aren't looking too good considering it's their map pick. They might just lose on their map pick. TBD are
They're
going
slipping.
to tell us. Yeah, they're gonna let us know, TBD, if if they're gonna be a match point situation or if we're gonna go OT. This round will determine
Projector system out!
everybody's fate.
Activating drone.
What I love about TBD so far is that they truly are not making any huge unforced errors, right? As a matter of fact, they're forcing Reno Skyline to make unforced errors, right? They're putting them into unfavorable positions, they're making them uncomfortable, and they're forcing them to have to play aggressive right into the hands of TBD. I loved that last round for many reasons, but more specifically, for
Setting C4.
I mean, whoa, something like that. Unstoppable? Hello?
Unstoppable has literally been an unstoppable force and an immovable object.
And this is exactly what I'm saying,
now.
right? You're watching your corners, you're not making any unforced errors. HK was dealt with, capital D, dealt with from Unstoppable. Unstoppable knew that that was coming. They're reading Reno Skyline consistently over and over and over again. We saw that flank watch from last round. It was strong. 2 players off the board from Reno Skyline. Back to back, that Valkyrie and that Malusi. Nice guy Jake coming in with that C4. And nice guy Jake gets killed immediately after 417. Nick's on the board with that, with the sense. And a 3v3. Or, I'm sorry, a 2v4, I should say. Reno Skyline.
See how this pans out. Mind you, Porkins, he was like 8-2. Like maybe 5 rounds ago, maybe not 5 rounds ago, like 3 or 4 rounds ago. He's gotten 2 picks since then. It's not been too good. And Calico to get taken down. Reno Skyline, boys on Reno Skyline, we gotta reevaluate. There we go. There's the timeout that we were looking for. Y'all need that because look at it. We already talked about this, but this is Reno Skyline's map pick. And you can lose on your map pick, sure, but is it really a situation that you want to put yourself in? I mean, Reno Skyline's offense has looked a lot better than their defense, which is kind of crazy because typically your defense will look better than your offense, even if it is your favored map.
Well, I think that also has to do with TBD. TBD,
they know how to adapt.
Has an amazing offense. I gotta say that. TBD has an amazing offense. They always look better on their offense, consistently. They're able to adapt better on their offense. They're more on point on their offense. And TBD has also been consistently able to set the pace, too, on their offense. Which means that they realistically have been controlling who wins and who doesn't win. So you kind of do have to hand it to TBD, all right? They're starting to get on point and they're getting into their groove. They're reading Reno Skyline. Reno Skyline, they're just not able to adapt correctly, right? They're not able to find those openings. They're not able to make their stand, win those ones, right? And speaking of utility, I mean, we have the belt cans on the board. What happened with that? We haven't really been using C4s all too often to get those kills. I mean, it just feels like Reno Skyline, as a team, as a unit, they're beginning to fall apart. And they really needed that timeout to reinstate, okay, what are we trying to do here? How are we going to make it happen?
I think a main difference on, TBD really coming out from the shadows and coming out on top so far, what's changed, really, since the beginning of the game up until now? I'll tell you. Who's getting the majority
Oh, she'll tell
of the
us.
first picks now? Who's getting the majority of the first picks now?
The terror
First picks are
deployed.
coming out in favor of TBD as of recent. And if Reno Skyline gets a pick on the TBD, it is almost instantly refragged, or it's refragged in a pretty short amount of time. You know, at the beginning of the game, hey, I don't usually get technical, but hold on,
Wait a minute, because now you're spitting.
Hold my ears real
Reload!
quick. But, you know, at the beginning of the game, Reno Skyline was powering over TBD with their first picks. You know, and they weren't really getting punished for it. Now, it's either TBD are getting the first pick, or if they get first pick, they're instantly getting that reflag. And there you go. That's like the third round in a row. They've gotten the first pick. And what surprisingly really changed about TBD really coming back in the shadows, they've gotten their first picks. And I think that that is a big reason as to why TBD have been so great this latter half. Is because of the fact that their first picks have been in their favor more times than it has in the first half of the game.
Agreed. And
That's
the
my
funny
theory.
thing,
Again,
this is actually a repeat of last round. Unstoppable also got the first pick on HK. If you remember.
yeah, you're right.
Little funny thing going on there. Carlos walking in at the doorway, and it's a double kill for Slinky. Calico and Flash is going off the board. Nice guy Jake is gonna respond from below.
Can we get a big view of this?
Very little help. Yeah, can we get a nice big view of this?
Thank you! I had to say it. Look at nice guy Jake. It's not so nice he's on 1 HP in a dream. He's on that bottom floor looking to be, you know, a little bit of, you know, a hidden shadow. Hopefully not being able to be detected by TBD. Speaking of TBD, they do not have the diffuser. They're going to have to go and grab that. I believe the diffuser's on the first floor, but nice guy Jake is unfortunately going to get picked off. It's going to be a 1v2 in favor of the boys on TBD, and that will close it out. I didn't even get to talk about my statistics with the timeouts, but it doesn't matter. TBD coming out on top, showing us what it's like to be determined. They come in hot with the determination to beat Reno Skyline, but not just beating Reno Skyline. They're beating Reno Skyline on their own map. I mean, come on. I want to give them a round of applause. Brother, thank you for making that a great game. It was close enough where I was at the edge of my seat. I was like biting my nails. I was clenching my butt cheeks, but it wasn't so like I wasn't like oh man, this game is taking forever. You know what I mean? Like this is the perfect amount of suspense and the perfect amount of excitement. It was beautifully crafted from both these teams.
I agree. I mean, and this is not me, you know, overly hyping up TBD, but they know how to make a spectacle. They know how to make a spectacle of a game. I have to hand it to them. I mean, this is an underdog story for them. You can tell we are kind of like hyping up this underdog over and over and over again. And it's because these are such hard-fought matches for them, and they continually win over and over and over again. They came out from that 7th seed, and now they've gotten their first match win out of 3 over Reno Skyline. They've already won against the 2nd seed, Skyline GG. And so now, I mean, they're going on to their map pick. So we could see the underdogs prevail once again. We're gonna
Getting
be
rid of all the
seeing
skylines, man.
Yes, so we're gonna be seeing Border. It's gonna be Skylineception, actually. Skylineception for TBD. They've had to deal with a lot of skylines recently. I love that game. I truly did. I love that layer game. I love the way that TBD was able to pace on their attacks. I loved their utility economy. I also liked their drone economy. I didn't really talk about that much throughout the game. I really did like that though. The Blackbeard, Nyx, love you, brother. Love that clutch op for you. It worked like a charm for you. Gotta hand it to you. Also, just like really unfortunate that Reno was not able to adapt over and over and over again, even post timeout. You know, they were not able to hold back the unstoppable force that is that TBD attack.
The
I mean, it is
determinated
truly,
team.
yes, it is truly something special. I do have to say that. I mean, the way that TBD is able to traverse across rounds to adapt, but also to play so well together, to play such a great cohesive unit, to play tight when necessary, to kind of pull back also when necessary, right? You know exactly where your choke points are, you know exactly where you want to dump your utility, and where you want to have that sort of pacing, that aggressive pacing versus okay knowing when to play out your rounds with the timing. I mean, just beautiful overall from them. They really have yet to be stopped so far in this playoff run. But enough about them. We're gonna take a short break. Then we're gonna head on to our
Wait,
second
I
map,
think
which
we're going
is
to
Border.
stats.
No stats.
No stats.
No
My
stats.
bad.
No stats,
My bad.
geez. No stats. We're gonna actually head on over to Border in the next few moments. We're gonna take a short break before we hit that map. Let's grab a bowl of popcorn, get yourself some refreshments, and we will be right back at it.
We'll see y'all.
Welcome to Independent Trading University at ITU. We're more than just an education platform. We're a community built to help you succeed. Trading can feel like a solo journey, but with ITU, you're never alone. Our team is here to support, guide, and push you toward mastery. Technical analysis support, so you can read the charts with precision. Fundamental support, so you understand market-moving news and economics. Psychology support, so you can develop the mindset of a successful trader. We provide the tools you need to thrive: weekly live education, 24/7 community support, and real-time trading setups from experienced coaches. Wherever you are, access the education and mentorship that will transform your trading. Join ITU today and trade with confidence.
Where's Jenna Freesh, dude? Where's my number one duo? Where's Jenna Freesh? She ditched me. She ditched me. I'm just kidding. Jenna's a little bit sick. You couldn't tell by her voice. It was a little bit more scratchy than usual. She was talking about her phlegm. I'm gonna be going over to her house to give her some Cepacol, some throat lozenges, but that'll be after the cast. For now, she's gonna have to tap out, and Mr. Cards this way is gonna tap the F in. It's my first time casting with Cards. Cards, how you feeling tonight on a Wednesday? How you doing, boy? How you doing? No, I can't hear him. Oh, oh my God! Oh, Cards, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, brother. He's a
Maybe?
little bit nervous. Oh, there you go, Cards. We
There
can
you
hear
go.
you.
Okay.
Cards,
Excuse
how
me.
are you tonight?
Amazing. Yeah, certainly didn't expect this one, but I'll be glad to tap in, at least for this, hopefully last 2 maps.
Cards, if you weren't watching the last game, and if anybody in the stream was not watching the last game, oh my goodness gracious. We watched TBD show Reno Skyline what it's like to be determined. Reno Skyline's map pick Lair unfortunately crumbled like some crackers. Just between their fingertips, TBD beating them. A solid 7-2, not too shabby. We're going to be moving over to Border, which is TBD's map pick. So Reno Skyline's map pick they lost their map pick. As TBD did a great job. And now we're going to be moving on to Border, a great map. Cards, this is my first time casting with him, so hopefully we'll have that chemistry going on. It won't be the same as with Jenna Freesh, but it should be good. I can tell by your vibes, Cards, that it's a good night for you. It's a good night for me. I think we're gonna get along quite well, Cards. You know
I certainly
anything
hope
about
so.
these teams?
I have casted both, more accurately, Reno in a couple of other T3 leagues. I've seen that they can truly be, I think, a great team. They're really struggling a little bit so far.
All right, well, we'll see. Hopefully Reno Skyline are going to be coming back because, like I had mentioned, this is TBD's map pick. Obviously, you can lose your map pick, but I always say this, but you got a lot of nerve as a team to pick a map, and if you perform badly, I'm usually pissed. No, I am pissed. I'm not usually pissed. I am pissed. So I expect every team that picks their own map to perform on their own map. You're picking that map under the assumption that you are gonna play that map better than your opponent. You always come in here with the mindset that you are going to beat who you're playing, because that's a winner's mindset. You want to have that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And to be determined, I was saying Car's last game, the slogan for to be determined is going to be what it's like to be determined. This team shows us what it's like to be determined. And so I hope that we're going to see that same determination from last game, and hopefully it'll travel over to this game. But I'm also a type of person that likes to see it go the full 3 maps. I'm a sucker for some long, hard games. And so hopefully we'll be seeing that, coming about as we're moving on to map 2. Reno Skyline, of course, it's going to be TBD's map pick, so you'd assume Reno Skyline are going to pick the defense first.
Located by attackers.
Any, or not thoughts, but any predictions, I guess, for how this might pan out, or even, some thoughts on the ban. So you have a glass off the board. What do you think that's about? I don't think I ever seen that really. Maybe only that little catwalk on the outside, but that's about it.
10 seconds left.
I mean, it's certainly a niche ban, but I think that there is some genuine thought behind that, and I'm at least excited to see what they maybe have planned. I will say, having a Border be the map for Reno to try to come in on is gonna hurt. I think this isn't one of their better maps generally, but I think we can still see we just got to see a much better performance here.
Honestly, Reno Skyline's performance last map wasn't even that bad. It was just TBD genuinely was adapted well, or adapted really well to what Reno Skyline had to offer on Lair. Lair was last map. We're on to this map now, but Jenna was saying, TBD's great at adapting. I honestly, last map really showed that they were. And the main key point that I noticed on how, when TBD was really starting to pick up pace was them getting first picks. You know, if first picks are what it takes, TBD was definitely doing great, especially in the latter half of that game, which I think is what really pushed them forward towards that win. So, you know, just about a minute into the round already, nobody has actually made their way into the building, and nobody has gotten any picks off. The only person that's taken some damage is Nyx. Nyx was doing great last game. Everybody on TBD was. We'll see if he's going to be able to continue on with that as we approach 2 minutes now remaining in the round.
Absolutely, and I would say to watch out here, maybe we might see something special here from the Capital. First one's going to be found real quick there off of the Claymore.
All right, a 3v5. And Reno Skyline, not looking too good. A plant is also going to be underway. Are they aware, or is the sound of the Malusi kind of muting that plant? But no, the C4 is going to save them. It's like a repeat of map 1 when that happened. But Yarlos is going to pick back up that diffuser, is going to try and get that bomb planted. Now the swing out coming out Slinky. He's going to get a 2-piece. We're in a post-plant situation now. And a 2v3 will turn into a 1v3. It's going to be up to nice guy Jake, who's not so much of a nice guy. He's going to get a 2-piece. He needs 2 more with 7 seconds to spare in order to win out this round. Is he going to be able to do it? We'll see. One of them is going to be outside. It's going to be unstoppable. The other one, Yarlo, still in sight. But he's BB, man. That shield is going to be no bueno. He's going to have to turn his back, hoping that he's not going to hit that air jab. He just about gets rid of him. And that was an opportunity to swing, but it doesn't matter. Now just about 10 seconds. He's going to have to spare if he wants to get that bomb off. And that's a 3-piece for Jake. However, still to get the spawning killer, at least try to defuse that bomb. So it is starting, and Unstoppable sees him and stops him in his tracks. A valiant effort from Mr. Nice Guy, but it's not going to be good enough. GBG securing their first round, and you know, quite nicely. That was a decently fast push in. A little bit unexpected, I will say.
Absolutely, and I think that the big thing to see there was the persistence. Despite losing that first diffuse shot, they still came back. They did it again. I think showing that immediately after, being willing to go back to the same thing and trusting your team is huge.
That's that faith that they have. That's what it's like to be determined. I'm telling you, I'm going to start saying that all night. You're absolutely right. I like that. You know, they lost the diffuser, but they didn't lose hope. They were able to adapt to the situation as it changed, and was able to get that bomb replanted. You know, bomb is being planted and the swings are coming out, but you got your teammate that's going to be able to watch you and swing out and, you know, take a couple shots if it means that you can get that diffuser down. The TBD did a great job. Reno Skyline opting to go downstairs now. The upstairs is too much to handle, so it's too much buns. We're not ready for all that bread yet. We gotta wait a little bit.
10 seconds to go.
We're gonna let that marinate. The top floor is gonna marinate. We're gonna go down to this bottom floor. The bathroom. Mira on the board. The Mira's gonna be played upstairs as well. I like this. I feel like typically when I see a Mira played here, we see it in that washroom overlooking onto that little single window and then onto this construction area here, but seems like it's a top floor Mira setup.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest thing to look out for in terms of changing this round is going to be that blitz. You saw how slow they kind of started there. It was a little bit slower than usual for them. I think bringing that to try to force that aggression, force those early on fights is an amazing pick.
Continuing and moving forward, we already have somebody in the building. It's going to be Nyx. He's already made his way through. I mean, you'd assume so, as he is going to be the blitz. But he's made his way quite in fast. The only problem is, I noticed he's got the diffuser. He's alone right now, actually. Slinky is going to be with him. But he's definitely making his way in fast. He was a little bit riding solo, not anymore, obviously. But regardless, it seems like this might be another kind of like, maybe a dark horse type of play. He's coming in from the shadows, going undetected. We'll see. We're going to have the majority of the people upstairs. We're actually only going to have one person in sight to take. Everybody else is going to be on that top floor. We're going to have Falcon Workshop, and that is it. And boom! Here comes the execute! TBD, I guess, droned it out. They absolutely knew what was happening. Like I said, basically everybody's off-site except for one person. And we're in a post-plant situation. It's a 5v4. Yarlos is going to take the fall. A 4v4 now as shots are firing. Kills are coming out left, right, and center. Still an equalized out score. TBD is going to be down one player now, but it's going to be equalized out instantly. It's a 2v1. It's going to be up to Mr. Hidecue. In a 1v2, the diffuser is going to start to be diffused. The bomb is going to start to be diffused. And unfortunately, the fast pick, or the fast entry isn't going to be enough. Reno Skyline there's a lot of shots coming from either side, but, you know, Reno Skyline able to bring it back down to a speed that they're more accustomed to. Even if that means that, you know, they're going to have to tank a couple shots and have a couple deaths on their side, they're still going to get it done. And that's what they did. A valiant effort actually from both sides. Honestly, that would have been crazy if they ended up getting that round off PTBD. They didn't. But I really liked that fact that they found that gap and they were able to wiggle their way through.
Certainly, and I think that it's good to see, even with that aggression being dealt with, they were able to get those trades, come back, and deal with what is a much harder plant to generally fight.
I love the
Something
Sens
to certainly
too.
look for. Yeah.
Like, what do you
beautiful
think about that
picks.
Sens play, man? You don't really get to see Sens that much, you know? That was
Yeah,
incredible.
it's certainly more of an. Yeah, it's a niche shot nowadays, but when it's done, it feels like it can be so perfect at times. It's a picture perfect scenario for them, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, it was a great execute. Like, I guess it was just too many people were caught in bad spots. And not only that, but probably because, like, I understand that, you know, the majority of people are not on site. Everybody's going to be up on that top floor. So obviously your main executor is going to be getting into the site to very fast plant that bomb. But I think that too, not taking into account anybody upstairs might kind of cause a threat, because then you're like, okay, well, we don't know where everybody else is. We know that they're not in sight, but we haven't really taken care of anybody upstairs, or we haven't really done any. I feel like TBD didn't do any like kind of cutoffs where they maybe had somebody lingering by metal stairs, or they had somebody lingering over by like east, where, you know, they could kind of cut somebody off if they were trying to rotate back to site, knowing that it's now a post-plant situation, right? Like, I honestly, everything was happening so fast, I wasn't really paying too much attention to where everybody was kind of like sitting. But that was probably, you know, a reason as to why they might have lost, just because they didn't really take into account the post-plant situation, like the post-plant situation. They just thought about the plant situation. They weren't thinking about the post-plant situation. You get what I mean? You catching what I'm throwing?
I absolutely. And I think that, you know, sometimes it can be so such a big thing where teams will laser in on that diffuser, they'll laser in on getting it there. But it's always so important to remember that you still have those, you know, that much more bigger time with around 30 seconds. Everyone's going to be coming at you. You're still going to have all those remainders looking for that diffuser, finding those picks, getting aggressive, and not accounting for that is such a big mistake. But it's only one round. I think there's a lot that can change.
2 rounds in so far, but we've seen a great performance from both of them. We're going to quickly, I think, go to a little bit of a break, as they're going to be doing a rehost. We're good. No, we're good. So we can talk a little bit more. Obviously we kind of went through that round anyways, but honestly, like you said, it's early on into the game. It's only 2 rounds, and I of course know that too, right? It's early, but I think that, you know, that a lot of times too, like those rounds, those easy rounds, and honestly, if you just thought about the next 30 seconds instead of just thinking about what's happening right now, could definitely cost you. You know, TBD could be up 2-0. They're not, but that's okay. It's fine. It is also their map. They are on the offense. Granted, their defense usually is better. Their defense is always typically better than any team's offense. So they have the opportunity. I'm just hoping that a split is going to look more like a 3-3 and not like, you know, a 5-1, or a 4-2 is fine. But maybe a 4-2 in favor of, like, you know, Reno Skyline, because if you're not Reno Skyline and you're down 4-2, it's not your map. Might be a bit of a problem, especially if TBD are going to be going on that defense. But anyways, we're going to be going back into the game now. You have any what's it called? Favors to win? I think you mentioned that you are familiar very much with Reno Skyline, Mr. Cards. Are you hoping that they win, or if you know, really care? For me personally, I want to see a good game, whether or not somebody wins or loses. It's not really my, unless I know the players personally. But are you rooting for Reno Skyline?
Honestly, I was, but I think that first map was so amazing in terms of a masterclass from To Be Determined that it's looking very hard to root for them. There could always be change. There could always be a bit of an upset on the pick.
So Reno Skyline have become the underdogs, essentially. Reno Skyline, third place, by the way, have become the underdogs to TBD. TBD has put them on a leash, essentially, and has basically made them out to be the underdogs in this situation. That's the determination from TBD. That's what we like to see. We're gonna be seeing that sense again. The blitz as well. I wonder if they're gonna be trying to go in for that fast execute again. I feel like it won't work, especially now with these boyos. The only thing that we might be missing is a smoke. The Warden seems like an interesting pick, but maybe that's to directly counter the blitz. Other than that, I feel like we haven't really. I might sound stupid, but is Warden able to see through the sentence script?
No, actually, she is not anymore. Or he is not able to do it anymore, so...
Okay,
it won't really do much here. It'll still help with the blitz, certainly, but that sends is going to be
it's very situational.
Still a big nuisance. Yeah.
Extremely situational. Well, you know what? Maybe they like the MPX, but then in that case, if you really like the MPX so much, go Valk. Valk is a much more team-orientated operator. I feel like Warden is a very selfish op, especially because we haven't really seen Ying. All we've seen is a blitz. I feel like Warden is a bit of a selfish operator, but maybe they like, you know, the SMG-11 or whatever that gun. I don't even, not the SMG-11, probably the SMG-12. I think that's what it is. Anyways, Calico to get taken down first. That's going to be a little bit unfortunate. It's going to come out. Mr. Nix is going to be the one to find that first pick. And so TBD starting off hot with a man advantage. We'll see if they're going to continue on with this. And actually, they'll make it a two-man advantage. Heidi Q Pew Pew. He's gonna be the one to get that pick off. And two-man disadvantage the boys on Reno Skyline will quickly be slightly rectified. It's gonna be a team kill though. And I nearly choked on my saliva, and by the time that I was done choking on my saliva and regrouping, the round is already done. I mean, can you believe this? TBD coming in hot, they did it fast. I said to myself, I'm like, TBD surely isn't going to do it fast again. It's too predictable. And yet they did it. Cards, what do you think about all this, man? What's going through your head right now? Because honestly, I don't even know what's going through my own. Everything is happening so fast.
I think that willing to stick to your guns, and you said, yes, we failed once. I think we got on this more main site. This is what we play more. It's a very viable idea, and I think it's a smart play to trust your team, trust your strats like that, and just trust your players and say, we got this one more time. It worked out this time. Any big thoughts about that third ban there?
The third ban, the Sens, I will not lie. It seems like it's a more curated ban, obviously. I feel like if a team like TBD wasn't using Sens, the Sens wouldn't be the operator to be banned. Over the Blitz, I think makes a lot of sense. I feel like the Blitz hasn't had that much of an influence in this round as maybe the Sens has. Granted, we've only seen the Sens twice. Last round, I feel like, is a complete write-off because that round lasted not even a minute. Okay? And the second round, Reno Skyline came back from that. I know it was very, it was, I guess you could say lucky, or it was a chance that they won it, but I feel like there wasn't a crazy amount of play with the Sens. Regardless, it's a safe ban. That you can tell TBD uses it. Get rid of an operator that TBD uses. Get it out. As for the Mira, I like that ban as well. Mira's great on this map, and honestly, I can see a Mira getting played on every single site on this map. It doesn't have to be in the site itself, but top floor holds, especially when you're playing on that main floor, are very common to have that Mira playing above. Especially with the castle. Castle's already gone. The Mira's gone. I think that's a very smart ban from TBD. I really like that. What about you? Are you thinking the same thing? Is this a pretty smart ban? I like it.
I do at least enjoy it. I think that it can certainly work in their favor, and I think that sometimes going with the more safe ban is always a great option. I think there's no reason, as good as the Sens ban might be, I think sometimes sticking to that very plain ban is a great option.
I like that. It's easy. It's as simple as pie, man. Hey, they're using the Sens. Get her out. One less person they can use. Moving on. We're just about a minute into the round, and nobody's made their way into the building, but Nyx has. Now he's slowly but surely making his way through. He's going to be denied a little bit of access. Seems like it's going to be Porkins, I believe, who's... No, not Porkins, my bad. Calico. up on that top floor. Seems like it was going to be trying to deny him. It's a little bit of a top floor hold. And then we're going to have everybody else kind of downstairs doing what they do. Actually, we are also going to have that Scopos. She's got a drone downstairs, so in case anything rash happens, she can instantly come back down. So we'll start to see, as bullets are starting to rain free, it's looking a little bit dangerous for her, but it's a little bit more dangerous for Nyx as he gets taken down, and that's not just Nyx down, that's Diffuser down. So a 5v4 will turn to a 5v3 quickly, as TBD are falling like flies. 2v4 situation. Mr. Cards, take it from here.
At least we're seeing that aggression, and I think that's always going to be the best thing. I think this verticality, you got to get it so quick. The issue is always going to be time. You see that time closing in. Another pick found for the side of Skyline. Very, very reasonable 3v1 here. Should be a locked-in round as long as you don't see anything crazy.
All right, just under a minute remaining in the round. It's going to be Haida Poo-Poo. Haida Poo-Poo. I think it was Haida Poo-Poo. I think that's what he was trying to say. Haida Poo-Poo. Anyways, you're gonna be dropping that hatch, brother. You gotta be a little less predictable than that. Not a good look. Haida Poo-Poo. You're playing a little bit like Poo-Poo. Just kidding. Anyways, Reno Skyline bouncing back from that previous round. Good on them. They did a great job. They was a little bit, crazy the previous round, but they recovered really nicely. And so we're looking at an evened out score at 2-2. We'll see how this round carries out. Now we're going to be going to bathroom and tellers with no Mira and no castle either. So obviously that top floor hold is going to be kind of, it's going to be a lot harder if they are trying to do a top floor hold, which typically I feel like if you're going bathroom and tellers, there will be something up top. Not the case for now. We'll see how the boys on Reno are going to play that. I feel like they're not crazy with the roam heavy. I think they do a normal amount of roaming and a normal amount of site holding from other places that aren't site, but I feel like they don't tend to get too crazy.
Absolutely, and I think that it's their traditional style. They've generally played like that, and I think it's worked so well. And they were 10-1. It's so hard to really discredit them and say that won't work here. I think that the idea is there. It's just the execution is just slightly off.
We'll see how this round plays out. Like I said, it's an evened out score. All bands are up on the board now, so anything that happens is what's going to happen. The Pulse is going to be an interesting pick. Maybe trying to, even though they are going downstairs, I feel like maybe the Pulse might be good for if they're going upstairs. But, trying to deny certain entry points, perhaps. Yarlos is going to get picked off a little bit, about 50 HP. We got 2 shields on the board. Monchi obviously can't be used, but damn, TBD are using as many shields as they possibly can. All we're missing there is maybe a fuse, and then we might have all shields on the board. The BB and the Blitz, though. Very standard. See how that continues on. I'm surprised no IQ, maybe to kind of counter with this. No, that doesn't seem like that's really going to matter too much at all. Here we go, slowly but surely making their way through. They have droned out the Pulse, though. We'll see. This is going to work out in their favor. Having a pre-place would have been great there, but then again, there's a drone on you. It's going to be a little bit harder. So he's opened up this hatch to hopefully, find a little bit of an entry point for himself to slowly but surely make his way through. Yarlos and Slinky have also made their way into the building, and it seems like everybody except for Haida Poo-Poo is going to make their way in. Not only that, now Slasher, DB, Node, HK in a bad situation, stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's got 1 HP and a dream. In minute 40, he's going to have to hold it out. Now his teammate is dead. And he's at 1 HP.
Another man falls there to Nyx, and that Blackbeard shield seeming to be as threatening as ever. It's so hard to deal with it. The amount of pressure it can exude and really force you to pay attention.
Fortunately, it looks like Reno Skyline are dropping like flies. A 3-piece for Unstoppable as he takes out HK for taking out his teammate. And it's going to be Calico in a 1v4, making a 1v3. A beautiful headshot. 2-2-3. Ah! She a baddie, Roxaline. All right. It's going to be a post-plant situation. I'm sure that he can hear it. Let's see. Oh my god! All right. I had to do it to him. Let him know. Hit a little cheeky headshot before he gets taken down by Unstoppable. The bomb gets planted and the headshots ring through bullets. Coming in like rain on a stormy night. TBD. locking in their third offensive round win, and they're gonna be going into, well, both teams are gonna be going into the split that halftime after this round. We'll see if Reno Skyline are gonna be able to secure themselves a round, making it 3-3, or if TBD are gonna win this out. TBD's had good momentum, but so is Reno Skyline. I honestly think I haven't really paid attention too much to the first round picks and who's been getting them. But I feel like even in that sense,
Attackers need to locate
Reno
and
Skyline,
defuse
it really
bombs.
depends on the round if they're really able to adapt to what's happening in front of them. We'll see if TBD are going to be able to close this out and bring themselves one step closer to just closing out this game entirely. But Reno Skyline are grasping at straws right now. You don't want to be down 2-4, I feel like, on a map that isn't your own, knowing that you've already lost your own map. So, we'll see how that plays out. And, it's going to be unfortunate. I feel like if Reno Skyline are going to be down 2-4, I feel like the momentum is going to kind of start to really have a decline. What do you think?
I think that, yeah, this round is so important just as a team that has generally one of the better defensive win rates in the entirety of the league. If you go down in a 4-2,
New camera
just
feed up and
it
running.
feels so hard to climb up from that, and it can be done. I've seen it done from Skyline. They've done that before, but it's such a hard thing to do. And you're known for that identity of being good on the defense, being consistent there, and you're losing.
See, TBD are looking great. I'm sure that they're pumped up. I'm pumped up too. I'm familiar with both of these teams, but I feel like I'm a lot more familiar with the players on Reno than I am with TBD. This is like we said last game. TBD's got basically a whole new roster. I think like 2 players are the same and the rest of them changed. So a lot of changes coming around, and it seems like the chemistry between this newer roster has just been absolutely on fire. Damn, man, I wish my rank stack looked like this. Instead, I got, 2 morons, me, and like 2 randoms. It's ridiculous. Anyways, moving forward, Nyx pushing in through, but seems like Yarlos is going to be able to take care of Calico, right before he gets taken care of by Nyx, or not Nyx, sorry, HK, my bad. Nyx is going to be taken care of now, and a lot is happening in just a little bit of time. Slasher will get that finish off on Nyx, and at the very least, Reno Skyline are looking at that man to advantage. TBD, down that man, but it's only one player, honestly. In a game like Rainbow, anything can happen, and there you go. Slasher to be deviant. Or not only that, but that is a C4 off the board. That's all C4s off the board! No! HK to close it out. Slinky to get finished off. Slasher, by the way, still able to be res, and more than likely he will be if he's in a safe spot. We'll see if it's going to happen right now. It doesn't seem like it. As unstoppable is going to be like a hawk, like a bird watching over a nest. Slasher still going to be down. We'll see what HK is going to plan to do. He's going to get taken out, actually. And so effectively, it's a 2v2 as, Slasher is grasping onto his chest. He's bleeding out. And the team knows that he's down. So there you go. Now it's an official 2v2 with just under a minute remaining in the round. TBD have got themselves one step closer to closing out this split in their favor. But Reno Skyline still, they've got 2 players, and in terms of HP, I know it doesn't really mean that much, but they have like that 10 extra HP. See what happens. Both of them are going to be upstairs, and now with 30 seconds TBD, it's going to have to start slowly but surely making their way through. At the very least, they do have the bomb in their hand. I'm not sure what they're pinging because the players are most definitely not there. They're both in sight. Nobody's going to be in offices. You got to start making their way in. There's not going to be a lot of time to drone. There's not going to be a lot of time to check your corners. Get in there and get in there fast. Seems like this area is going to be blocked off. It's going to be a cutoff when you're trying to walk in. You got somebody from your left and somebody from your right. You better be careful. Comes a swing out. They see the first pick. He's going to get him. It's going to be a 1v1 with 2 seconds remaining. He's going to have the ball. You didn't try and plant? Why? Cards, why did he try to plant? Do you think he was scared?
I'm assuming it was probably just he just misinputted. I'm betting that he probably just straight up didn't press the keypad in time, or the movement in time. Sometimes those high stress situations, you think, even the simplest things can feel so like it's not really automatic at that point. I'm betting that we probably just saw a situation where they accidentally just misclicked. Entirely.
And guaranteed, had he really closed that out, had he started that plant, bro, he dropped that hatch. Brother, you gotta walk all the way up metal, Okay, you either gotta walk all the way up metal, brother. By the time that you're up metal, that bomb is planted. How do I tell you? You can go from below and try and floor bang, but by the time you get into construction of floor bang, bro, the bomb is planted. You could try and run up east. Hey, by the time you reach east, brother, bomb is planted. Essentially, bomb is planted one way or another. It's unfortunate, but maybe Reno Skyline don't, or not Reno Skyline, maybe TBD don't necessarily need that win. It's 3-3 on split. It's not too bad, but they definitely could have won that.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And I think that what's going to hurt most is I guarantee you at the side of TBD, they know they probably had that. And it's going to feel like Reno just got a lifeline given to them. They were probably going to lose that round, or at least go to a post win at the minimum. And just one small, you didn't click the key, you didn't do, that is generally basic. That's going to give, I think, Skyline just that one more chance, one more shot to try to just one in the fight. Maybe on a map.
At the very least, the scores still equalize out. It could be like a 0-0 right now. And it essentially is kind of like a 0-0 because we've swapped sides. This will be TBD's first defensive round, and this will also be Reno Skyline's first offensive round. So essentially, it's a clean slate. It's a chance for both teams to start showing off their strengths, but on a different side of the game. Now they're going to be playing opposite. So we'll see if TBD will execute or be able to play a little bit better defensively, or if Reno Skyline are going to be able to play a little bit better offensively. Anything is possible. It's a game of Rainbow. I'm seeing a Yink. We haven't seen a Yink at all this map, played by TBD, so I'm hoping to see something a little bit cheeky. Maybe something a little bit fast, having that Damos in there as well to kind of cut off anybody that might be roaming. So far, I'm liking this, but right now, nobody has made their way into the building, and it's 45 seconds, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be a fast entry or, something to catch these guys off guard yet.
I will say, as we're starting to see the basics get in, I was looking at the operators. Do you see Ellis shotgun? Do you have any major thoughts on that?
Hey, on a close quarters map, maps like K-Anal and a map like Border Thrive on shotguns. I think I was saying it last with Jenna, but I feel like shotguns and shields are the meta right now. They're going in cheesy, and I don't blame them. A lot of operators are playing to be really cheesy right now. And hey, if it gets you the win, it gets you the win. Is it gonna be annoying? Hell yeah. But you know what? Don't hate the play, hate the game.
At least in the very beginning here, we're seeing some shots traded, but this has probably been the longest run by quite a large margin of we're not seeing any entry at all, no pick yet. Isolation pick just hasn't come, and both sides, I think, waiting for it. Eventually found by Slinky.
There you go, you spoke too soon, it's the Castro's curse. And it'll be, I'll let it get the shot, but it won't be with a shotgun, it'll be with that pistol. Clocking them hoes.
Is he down with the pistol?
I don't even know if that was with the pistol or what. I'm not even sure if he knows that he ended up downing him, but regardless, HK is going to be DB a note, unstoppable. Is going to be stopped this round. He's going to be 6 feet under. And this could be, a potential for Reno Skyline to come back. It is still a 4v4. They got that pick out in their disadvantage. They're going to be at a man disadvantage now. They were able to get HK, but was it worth it? We don't really know yet. They're going to be down one man. So 20 seconds remaining. Reno Skyline take a long time to really get their way in. And I'm not sure if it's because TBD has just been holding this down really good or what. But I'm honestly surprised that it's taken them so long. Regardless, looking at 10 seconds, there goes Slasher, unfortunately, to get taken down. Nice guy, Jake, does have the bomb, but not for long, as he is going to be taken out immediately. Coming from the shadows of the sea, the Blue Sen Sea. The L is going to be taken down, but it doesn't matter. The round is over, and TBD did that perfectly. I don't even know if really TBD did so much, or Reno just took a bloody long time to really make their way through. I think that it also doesn't help the fact that they, got first picked and there was a down, and there's just, it's taken them a long time to really get into the building, given the fact that they're down somebody. But damn, man, we gotta get in there like swimwear, the bomb is not gonna grow legs and plant itself. You know, the guns aren't gonna grow legs and start killing
Defenders,
people by
protect your bombs
themselves.
from being defused
You know, we
by
need the
attackers.
people to use the guns to kill.
I mean, yeah, certainly a fun way of posing it, but it does bring up a real point here where Skyline just wasn't showing that aggression, and they have sometimes done it, where if they go down, even if they don't go down, if they just have a relatively, what I'd call bad half in general, they'll go passive. They'll almost what I'd call shrink to what is kind of a weaker version of themselves. And I've seen it more than once, so it certainly can happen. I've also seen them come back from that, and after one good round, they can change into like a prime version of themselves again.
Hopefully, we see that too. TBD looked really good that round. Essentially, it was that 4v1. It was a 3v1, but it was like 2 seconds left, man. Like, do you really? Anyways, a 3v1, but regardless, TBD just seemed to really take the bull by the horns that round, even despite losing a person earlier in the round. It didn't really, I feel like, shake them. Once Reno Skyline, and I think this is a very common theme with Reno Skyline, and I saw this last map that I was mentioning, but when Reno Skyline gets first picked, like they are at the man disadvantage, I feel like they crumble. Not necessarily crumble, but it's just very hard for them to figure out a way to regroup despite having a man disadvantage. I find that a lot of the time they're not able to recover from that, or at least they're not able to do it in an orderly fashion, in a timely manner. They crumble, and that's about it. So something to adapt from. And we're also map 2, right? So if that's happening in map 1, that I've seen it enough where I can point it out. If it's happening as well as in map 2, I feel like you've had ample time to improve and, you know, move from that. Try and adapt to it. TBD, seventh place, by the way, against Reno Skyline. 3rd place, by the way. It's just, you know, I feel like 3rd place should know how to adapt to situations like that. You're in 3rd for a reason, but regardless, I don't want to be too harsh. I like Reno Skyline and I like TBD, but you know, that's I'm calling it like it is. I'm also going to call Yarlos as he gets taken down, but HK is going to also be taken down. It's a 4v4 situation with just over a minute remaining in the round. Cards, take it from here, brother.
Got that a little bit of damage there. Another one found. Get yourself an even half, but taken back. Beautiful shots from the Scopos, and it's going to give you at least that little bit of wiggle room you want to have. Time's already looming over your head as if you're Reno, and you have to worry so much because you don't have diffuser in hand, you don't have that man advantage. You still got to deal with the Scopos, and another one, a quad now. Beautiful plays upstairs, and the verticality just caused so many issues. Give yourself in a 3v1, it should be.
Looking for the ace! Unfortunately, it'll be stopped. I'm sorry, Cards. I thought you were closing out with that. I'm sorry.
I had that high hopes, but
it was like a little bit of a drop off. I was like, okay, I don't know if I pick it up from here. Regardless, Porkins from a 1v3 to a 1v2, not too bad. You know, it's very winnable, but with 10 seconds remaining, he's got to make some plays, and he's got to make these plays right now. Something is over here in the washroom. He absolutely knows what's happening. A little bit of, you know, shotgun shots to scare his opponent away. And unstoppable to stop Mr. Porkins. C4 from hell. Oh my god, man. That was yeeted. My goodness gracious. Holy crap. Dude, holy, this guy just banked a shot from half court. Are we serious? Holy balls. Dude. A C4 from half court and it hits. Beautiful, by the way. All right. Amazing kill. A valiant effort from Porkins. It won't be enough. And TBD are sitting quite nicely. If they win this round, of course, it's going to be that match point. And I'm not surprised considering it's their map pick. But Reno Skyline, come on! We gotta get this show on the road. I think I was saying this last time. You know, when TBD would get picked, it's a typical instant refrag. Usually, like the refrag is within a reasonable time. When Reno Skyline get first picked, I feel like it takes a little bit of time to really get that kill back. And by that time, we've already we've already surpassed 30 seconds since that kill. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's for every situation, but I think that's definitely something to look into. Maybe Reno Skyline got to start doubling up, or something. We got to change something. I feel like maybe people are in the wrong spots at the wrong time, but when you're already down a map, you don't want to be putting yourself in a situation where you're in the wrong place at the wrong time every single time.
Certainly, and I think that if we do at least get another side of it, it was a very interesting decision from 2B to determine. They have entirely opened up the site in between. There is no middle wall anymore. It's just one large site. I mean, it's certainly a extreme decision, but I do like the idea maybe of giving those longer sight lines to a gun that is very, very strong at range in the LMG.
Here's your Ella shotgun again. These guys love Ella shotgun, I guess. It seems like it's a bit of a, I was gonna say it's a bit of a heavier top floor. I saw 3 people upstairs, but it seems like there's only 2 people upstairs now. Porkins already down. That's also the Deimos. Deimos is a great op for really fishing out those roamers. But he's gone now. It's Porkins. Porkins actually was doing great, I believe, last map as well. So that's gonna be a little bit unfortunate. Skyline. Again, they lose a player, and it takes them a while to really get that pick back. It's just errors that I like. It's just situations that you don't gotta put yourself in. I feel like it's stupid. Why are you gonna put yourself in a situation like that? And then there's no refrag potential. It's a little bit disappointing. I haven't seen. I've been on a hiatus, so I haven't really seen Skyline or TBD play. But to call it like it is, it's disappointing. Flasher will take down a Slinky. And so at the very least, the boys on TBD will find themselves not just 1 pick, but 2, make it 3. As finally, Reno Skyline are looking great. I was talking a little bit of shit, but I'm sorry, Reno Skyline. I was unaware that you were listening and that you're proving me wrong. But Unstoppable and Yarlos are going to be the ones who also prove me wrong. Because they're bringing it back in blood. They want to close this out as fast as possible. I'm telling you. Hit him right where it hurts. His back just hit that ass. Goddamn. He's not going to be able to walk without a cane anymore. A C4 from hell, will it hit it? Yes, it does! That's the Fuser Unstoppable, brother! Let that sink in! Oh my goodness! It's going to be a shield on a player, and no! Get the shields out this game! Get the shields out this game! You can't be serious! You can't be serious, bro! Enough with the shields! Enough with the shields! Cards, what do you think about that, Cards? Tell me your opinions on Monty right now, because I was saying, the meta right now looks like shotgun and shields. What is this monstrosity? And guaranteed, I feel like Monty's going to come off the board, but Cards, tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking.
It feels so ridiculous sometimes how we see all of those shields, and we see all 3 being banned. I'd love to say it's a bad idea, but shields have been so strong, and we've seen them consistently where they can dominate rounds and games. And even like that, we see a beautiful C4 throw to stop the plant. It won't matter sometimes. That shield is just so good at getting rid of those 1v1 fights. You're putting yourself already in a disadvantageous situation.
I'm like, something's got no, seriously, because I literally have a bone to pick with Ubisoft. Honestly, I think it's great. The longer this game goes on, the better. If this goes to map 3, brother, I'm locked in, man. I've had 2 cups of coffee, bro. The caffeine is coursing through my veins right now. But I don't understand. Ubisoft makes some of the most stupid decisions I've ever seen in my life. What is with these shields? They are forcing this shield meta onto everybody. And it is absolutely... Look at this. Look at this. The bans off of TBD. Blitz, BB, and Monty. Does that not say something? Like, what? Now you're using a very important, part of the game. The ban. Not essentially that you're wasting. I feel like wasting is a bad word, but you're essentially you're being forced to use the bans on an operator that you honestly might not have to. If they just changed it a little bit and made shields a little less of a pain in the behind to deal with. I mean, really, you're leaving other offensive operators out in the open because it is so hard to counter these operators. I'm not using a cap can to stop a shield. I'm not. Okay? I will not sell my soul. Anyways, I digress. I'm getting heated, man. The first stream back in like 3 months, Rom tweaked. Anyways. Oh my god. A minute into the round and nobody has made their way into the building on Reno Skyline. We'll see it. I feel like Reno Skyline's kind of infamous now for really taking their time to make their way into the building. But anyways, we'll see a bit of a top floor hold because of course the site is upstairs. Nobody's going to be roaming. Everybody's going to be up on the top floor. We're all waiting. Slowly but surely, like sitting ducks. Hoping to just make it match point, and HK will be the first one to get taken down.
We do see the Maru come right in there, immediately taken down with not really too much impact, and giving Neos in a pretty hard situation with not a lot of support anymore.
It's gonna be unfortunate. How to pew pew, how to poo poo. Wow, this might just be a flawless round to bring it to match point. Porkins making himself known as he's walking up these metal stairs, but not going down without a fight. We'll take out Yarlos before getting taken down. It's gonna be unfortunate, but hey, that's the way of the world. Guess what? All your shields are gone, and now what? And now what? I'm sorry. I don't care that much, obviously. But, I mean, I don't want to say that Reno Skyline is shield crutching, but, I mean, look at the difference. You know, Monty is such a pivotal operator. He's used to face check, and he's, you know, really there to just take space. He gets you in there, and he forces his way through. He's a great operator, but something's still got to be done about these shields. And you know what? Reno Skyline having to basically push their way in through the building, and Reno Skyline already notoriously take a long time to make their way into the building, even with having an operator like Monty who can just kind of make their way through. Not obviously without, you know, doing the necessary things like droning them, you know, so on and so forth. But, you know, being able, taking space is a lot easier with Monty than without Monty. Reno Skyline already notoriously take a long time anyways, even with the Monty on the board. Now without the Monty on the board, without an operator that you can kind of push your way in through, you know, you try and do this fast execute. I'm not sure what the Amaru, you know, what the plan was, but it didn't work out. And you know what, if you're gonna go against a team that's gonna know what they're doing, yeah, you're not really gonna make much of an impact. Amaru is a very selfish operator, and I feel like, you know, she should be used, if she's able to be utilized in a really positive way, if it works, then it's great, but I feel like it's very situational, and honestly, I think more times than not, Amaru is not the wave. It's not. And so, you know, now Reno Skyline's sitting at, you know, a match point. They're gonna have to force these next 2 rounds if they want to POT. And HK put himself in a bad spot. It sounds like a C4, and that will be a C4. They came out. Reno Skyline now with a man disadvantage. I'm not surprised. TBD have done a great job at getting first picks, and if they don't get a first pick, they get first picked. They're great at getting refund.
A little bit of, I think, a calm before the storm here is as slow as Skyline is at times. I think they know as well as anybody that they have to be aggressive in this last game. Their time to play passive and wait and maybe see if it works your way, it's already slimming. You have no real space here to afford to lose. You gotta be perfect, and I think that involves some aggression.
Well, minute 40 remaining in the round. Shots are being fired, damage is being taken, but not enough to take down an operator just yet. However, I speak too soon. Slink is going to be taken out, and Porkins, DB notably finished off by Mr. Unstoppable. Unstoppable 12-4. My goodness, man. Sign this guy somewhere. Holy crap. This guy's banking C4s from half court. He's dropping double digits right now. The only one with double digits in the lobby, and it's not close. Like, it's not close. The next closest person is Nyx with 8. Brother, can we be serious right now? Amazing job. But, you know, we'll see. Reno Skyline. You got a minute remaining. You still got the diffuser in hand. Nice guy, Jake. I've seen this guy play all the time. Not the greatest performance, but you know what? I'm hoping that they will bring this out. I really do. I don't want this to end right here. I think that it's going to be such a sad tale if it stops here. But is Slasher aware that somebody is up on this top floor, you know, being a little bit of a cheeky booger? Calico is going to be GB, I know, but nice guy, Jake! He's not going to be such a nice guy. He's going to take down Unstoppable, will get taken down by Hida Poo Poo. And Slasher, effectively in a 1v3, as his teammate Calico is going to be DBNO'd, is going to have 30 seconds remaining, not even a diffuser in hand, is going to have to start getting in there like somewhere. He's got to get a little bit jiggy with it. And so we'll see, hitting it from the back, taking down Mr. Yarlos. It's a 1v2. One player is upstairs with Scopos, man. They don't even care. He doesn't have the diffuser. He's going to have to get this pig, but unfortunately, I think it's all going to be in vain. And looks like that's it. The boys on TBD. 7th place, by the way. Beating Reno Skyline, who is in 3rd place. Mind you, we already spoke about this. Okay. TBD has now taken down both Skylines. Took down Skyline GG, and now is taking down Reno Skyline. Skyline GG sitting at 2nd place. Boom, TBD. And let me tell you something. I already said this. TBD's slogan. This is what it's like to be determined. Bro, come on. This is what it's like to be determined. Oh my goodness gracious. These guys just did it, man. And those games, look, both of them amazing maps. If you missed map 1, I feel bad. If you missed this map, I also feel bad. But if you got to watch any of it, my goodness, man, what a game. Both of these games, TBD, the underdog, 7th place, knocking off 3rd and 2nd. I cannot believe this. I came back from a 3-week hiatus, and my God, I came back, and I'm like, holy, let's get to work. Cards, tell me, how'd you like that map?
I think it's a beautiful game from TBD, and at this point, it's probably one of the better underdog stories we've seen in a long time. 5 and 6 in the regular season. They struggled a lot with roster issues, everything, but it doesn't matter. They came back. They're showing out against those top seeds, and well, you certainly got to be aware of them now at this point.
I mean, hey, TBD, it looks like it's to be determined if they're gonna, make their way to the finals. I think that's the whole point of their name, is it's to be determined, right? Like, but they already know where they're headed. I hope I have the pleasure of being able to, continue to see this team kind of like, move their way on into finals. Because honestly, man, these guys, Jenna was saying it last map, these guys are good at adapting. And I said, you know what? It's Lair, though. It's Lair. So, is it adapting, or is it just the fact that, Lair is a map that, maybe a little bit cheesy? I underestimated TBD. Honestly, I didn't really know what I was walking into because I haven't seen either of these teams play, any teams play for a long time, but I'm certainly happy with the outcome of tonight. I think that Reno Skyline played great, but I think that there was a lot of problems. I think the main problem is not being able to get your refrags. Reno Skyline map 1 did a really good job at getting first picks, and I think that was why they were ahead for a certain amount of time in map 1, was because they were really good at getting the first picks. Once TBD started to adapt to that, not just by instead getting the first picks themselves, but also being able to get quick refrags within an acceptable amount of time. If they got first picked, then they started to pick up the pace, and I'm glad to see it. I'm happy to see it. Honestly, both teams played great, but I think that TBD was really able to take advantage of Reno Skyline's weaknesses, and an amazing job to him for doing that. Or him, I say the whole team. Sorry. The whole team.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get much better than that. It's a beautiful way to end it here, and yeah, I think you really just got to look for what's next now for them.
But before I'm kissing all y'all goodnight and, sending y'all to sleep, we got Nix over here, bad boy Nix, to come in and, to come in and say a couple of words, answer a couple of our questions after that absolutely amazing map. Nix, I gotta say, before I even ask how you're feeling, okay, I will ask, how are you feeling first off of that? I'm sure not just you, but your entire team. I'm sure you can speak for your entire team, but how are you guys feeling after that two game banger?
I mean, yeah, we're feeling good. Honestly, I think that my teammates are probably feeling like a little bit better than I am, because I think I hold us to a really high expectation. Yeah, we got the win, but I don't even think trash talk a little bit. I don't think those guys are that great. I think we could have beaten those guys like 7-2, 7-1. So I think that the game shouldn't have even been like
Third
that close,
place.
to be honest. So yeah, I mean they're not bad, but they were kind of talking a little bit of trash before. So I
Put them in
kind of
their
deliver
place.
it back. But yeah, it was a fun series regardless. The guys played really well, and everyone's just happy to be able to showcase what we can do. So,
Uh, so they were third place. You
mhm.
guys also beat the second place team. Did you guys have that same confidence when you were going against Skyline GG? Like, I mean, of course you're gonna have the confidence, but did you guys also expect to kind of blow through it, the same way where you're like, we can beat them. It's a 7-2, 7-3
Right.
type of situation.
I respect Skyline GG a little bit more as a roster. I think that those guys have a lot of potential as a team. So I think that it's not surprising to me to see some of those maps go really close. 8-7, 8-7. It was kind of a banger series against them for sure. But no, I think a lot of teams just underestimate us just because a lot of our players are unnamed and they haven't proven themselves in previous leagues. So of course it's fine to underestimate them because it's I think everyone would, but everyone on the team is very hardworking and they have a great understanding of the game. And I think everyone's just really buying into the system right now. And I think that we're really showcasing our ability, especially in these last two playoff games.
Cards, you got a question? I have a couple questions,
Just
but if you got some questions, let me know.
all right.
Let it know.
What do you think is going to be your biggest strength going into the next round here?
Um, I think it's just getting more reps with the guys. Like the fact that we're just having the opportunity to still, so we're still in. I think we made semifinals now, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure
Yes.
Sesh lost, so we're gonna play against Nut. Oh, Sesh
Sesh
disbanded. Okay,
disbanded.
gotcha. Okay, so but we're gonna play against Nut, so I think that is even an easier opponent than Sesh because I think Sesh was a really solid roster. It's unfortunate because I think I was excited to hopefully have that rematch against them. Um, but I think it's just about getting reps, right? Like we just need more time as a team. We haven't even really been a roster for that long. Just getting more maps under our belt, more strategies under our belt, and just stuff like that. I think our biggest strength will come in time when we actually have a full map pool and a full team for sure.
So you mentioned that, it's a fairly new roster. I mean, based on the performance that I saw today, I haven't been here for a bit, so I haven't seen you guys play really. This is my first impression in like basically 3 weeks. The chemistry that you guys have is like ridiculous.
Mhm.
Like, did this chemistry just come out? How did you? Because this is a new roster. Like,
Right.
have you guys been kind of, maybe a couple of you guys have kind of known each other before, so maybe the
Mhm.
chemistry between some of you guys is already kind of built to where it's just kind of put into the team, and it just seems like the chemistry is just kind of, you
Yeah.
know,
Flowing.
started off from two of y'all and just branched out to everybody else.
Right, right, right. I mean, I've been playing with Carlos on this team the longest. Obviously, Unstoppable is kind of a sub for our team, and I've been playing with Unstoppable for a long time. So we kind of have that chemistry. And shout out to Landon, he played absolutely amazing tonight. So I think me and him are kind of flowing off of each other, kind of playing off of that chemistry pretty well. So I think there's that we've been playing together for a little bit. But in terms of everyone else, like Slinky and Yarlos and Heidka, it's been relatively new. I would say, and Yarlos is the one I've been playing with the longest, and that's not even probably a month max. Like, and that's being courteous. Uh, yeah, I really just think it's the fact
You
that the
guys just
guys are very
click.
hardworking. We were clicking very well, and everyone is, like I said, we're buying into the system. So, not to sound arrogant or egotistical, like I obviously have like a decent amount of knowledge on the game, and I think that everyone is just kind of like absorbing like a sponge. They're just kind of asking the right questions. They're showing up to practice every single day, which is great, and they're listening and they're asking, and we're growing. I think that it is obviously showcasing, which is great to see.
I have a couple more questions. Hopefully, I can hold you on here a little bit longer. I've
You're fine.
regarding Lair, did you guys? What was your guys' initial thoughts of going to Lair? I've almost never see Lair. I was so pleased to
Mhm,
see it because it's not a map that you really get to see at all. I was glad to see Cafe and Club and Chalet gone. What were your
mhm.
guys' initial thoughts on Lair?
So I prepped them on the ban phase, and I knew that they have a pretty like consistent ban. Like they always ban the same maps. So I knew that they were going to first ban Bank Chalet against us. So it was honestly between them picking Lair or picking Labs. I honestly thought that they were going to pick Labs over Lair just because they beat us on Labs in the regular season. But Labs ended up being the decider map, so they were probably just comfortable letting it go there. They We didn't play Lair at all in the regular season because obviously just getting
It's
it
not very
comfortable as a
typical.
roster playing, it's not typical. It's a map that especially a lot of T3 teams don't have a lot of experience or reps on, so it kind of makes sense why they wanted to pick it. They were trying to test our map pool and to see if we actually have experience on it, and luckily I told the guys that after looking at the bans, I think that we should practice this map for this next week. So the previous week we put in a decent amount of time onto the map and looked at the strategies and just really made sure we understood how to play the fundamentals of the map, and I think it paid off.
I like that. That you guys did amazing, man. That was a great map. One last question,
Mhm,
but not all teams do. Maybe it's because it's more of like a T3, I guess, type of league. Maybe T3,
mhm.
T4. Anyways, do you guys have a specific IGL, or is it kind of like depending on how the round is going, who might be alive or who might be dead, who's kind of making the main shot calls as the round progresses, or is it kind of just like you guys are all kind of jumbling all your ideas together?
So I'm definitely like the main shot caller for the team. I'll be the guy calling the initial push. A lot of the times calling audible stuff like that. But Siege is a 5-man system. You need to be able to have teammates that are able to communicate gaps, communicate plays. Landon was doing a great job today communicating their operator lineups and allowing us to flex around our operator lineups with the attacker repick feature. So it's just a full team process. Everyone on the team really needs to be able to pitch in and be able to communicate plays whenever they see them. But overall, being like an overarching like main voice, that would be me.
Actually, this just reminded me. This will actually be my official last question. But
No
speaking
worries.
of being able to find gaps, you guys on border, I believe you guys were attacking. They had
Mhm.
the bomb site over in bathroom.
Yep.
You guys brought sends. There was three people upstairs. There was one person in the bathroom and one person in con. Did you guys kind of drone it out and realize, look, basically site is free. We can low key just take this and plant
Yeah.
the bomb. I love
Yeah.
that.
So
Who
it,
who
it
who
was
came up with that, or who like kind
it
of made that shot call?
It was a take that we do a lot in scrims. Landon made a really good call initially, calling that they had Mira. And a lot of the times when a team is going to be bringing Mira, you know that they're going to be playing some sort of upstairs strat because there's not really any Mira windows that are strong on the bottom floor. So I knew that they were going to be doing some sort of heavy upstairs hold. We had good prep drones, good info in the early rounds, so we were able to just kind of go for that initial rush. Unfortunately, they still won that round. They retook on us and had a good retake. That's what I was kind of telling the guys. We just kind of relax, take a deep breath, and make sure that we are playing our post plans correctly because I think that was definitely a round that we could have closed out.
Yeah, no, I love that. That was great. Honestly, I was a little bit disappointed that you guys lost it. Probably
Yeah,
because of the fact that I guess, anyways, doesn't matter. It was a great round. I
it
was so
was.
happy to see it. Seeing the Sens pick, it was played perfectly, man. That the
Mhm.
perfect drops that you guys had that cover. Even though you guys planned to default, it was great. Everybody was upstairs, man. They all had to regroup back down to site. It was amazing. I'm sad you guys lost it, but honestly,
Yeah,
an amazing, beautiful offensive round. I loved it so much. And
thank you.
that's all for me. Cards, did you have any last questions for Nick?
No, I got most of mine answered through yours.
Mm,
All right, I love to hear that. Sorry, I
mm,
honestly, man, this has been such a great BO3. You guys had played amazing, both you guys in Reno Skyline. But honestly, having this underdog, you guys aren't even like an underdog anymore, man. I feel like you guys are, gonna be a real favored team to win. The way that you guys play, how you guys, play off of each other, and just the chemistry that you guys have. You can tell that you guys, you know, click very well like a puzzle piece, man. It works perfectly, like a five peas in a pod, like a hot dog bun and the hot dog, the mustard, the ketchup, the everything.
yes,
You
ma'am.
guys,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
guys work perfectly. So you know
Yes,
what? You
ma'am.
guys gave us a great game tonight, and you gave the audience a great game tonight. Thank you so much, Nix, for sticking around answering my like 10 questions.
No
And
worries.
best of luck to your next rounds. You guys are in semis, and then I'm gonna say it. You guys are making your way to finals, man. I hope that you do.
Sheesh. I hope so
I
too. I hope so
honestly,
too.
You guys got it, man. You guys got it. It was amazing watching you play tonight. So thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for giving us
much.
a great game.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the interview, and hope you guys have a great rest of your night.
You too, Nix. All right. Well, Carts, that was great. I'm sorry I took like the reins on that one. Are we able to see like the updated or there we go. I was gonna say the
Yes, we
updated
are.
yeah, there you go. So Sesh disbanded, if you guys didn't know. So you know, TBD is gonna be in semifinals with NT. Sorry, I do not know the name of this team. Anybody want to refresh me on that? Notorious. Like Notorious BIG. We'll see. I'm not sure when semis is going to be played. Who wants to chirp in my ear and tell me? Question mark. Semis are played next week. All right. Okay, yeah. So the quarterfinals on the opposite side are also going to be played, guys. I'm tomorrow. Did Kyla say tomorrow? Tomorrow is Temper and Orglis who are going to be playing for that semi or quarterfinal. So hopefully it's just as good as this game tonight. But amazing, man. Honestly, what a great game tonight and a great way to close out the night. Are we able to look at the updated like things as well? The what's the word? Like stats, updated stats. Okay, no, Kylo says, he says, F you, B. I'm not typing it in, just kidding. Kylo would never say that to me. I'm just kidding. So we're not going to get updated stats, but you guys saw the updated bracket. So TBD is going to be going against Notorious next week. Quarterfinals are going to be finishing off this week. So thank you guys so much for watching tonight. You know what? Amazing. And I'm glad that I was with you, Cards. Jenna was also here. So thank you to Jenna for joining us for one map. Cards, thank you for joining me for this second map. You have any final thoughts before I close this out?
Great game. Great BO3, and I'll be glad to see what comes next for AEL.
Yes, and by next for AEL, we mean tomorrow. There's going to be another quarterfinal game on behalf of the staff at AEL, on behalf of me, Cards, Jenna, all the casters, everybody that was not only casting tonight, but has casted previously in production, not just tonight, but previously. Thank you guys so much for watching and sticking around. Hopefully you guys had an amazing night. We're halfway through the work week. Tomorrow is Thursday. For some of y'all, it's payday. It's payday for me tomorrow, so getting ready for the Friday night, for the Saturday night, going out to party. If you're underage, you know, don't go underage drinking, but hopefully you're having a party at home. Anyways, I digress. He's in my ear telling me to close it out. I'm sorry. Anyways, have a great night, guys. If you're working tomorrow, enjoy your day at work. If you're unemployed tomorrow, enjoy the day off. If you're at school, happy studying, guys. Have a great night, and thank you so much for watching. It's been awesome. Have a great night.
We were forged beneath the fire, names erased but never tarred. From defeat we carve our fate, retribution will not wait.
Silent shadow.